It's clobbering time.
Welcome, clobberers and clobberettes, clobberonimals, and every other kind of clobberer to Saturday Night Star Trek number 91. Wee! Always the we. We are here. And it's great to see you. Wee, Michelle. Hello, my good friends. So happy to see you here tonight. Those who are showing yourselves and those who are lurking, either way. It is great to see you, my good friends, and I would like you all to please, as always, to give a very warm welcome to the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Commander R.M. Briggs. Hello there, number one.
Thank you much for that warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. Hail to the chat. Hail to all of our wonderful wrenches, our just a whole room full of friends. And of course, hello, Captain. I love you very much. How are you?
Oh, I'm always excited to be here. Doing great. It's good to see everyone. And just can't wait to have some fun tonight. Just geeking out with my Trek buddies. And I want to thank you all for being here, my friends. And of course, as you know, whoever else shows up, we're about to shout everyone out in a second. Sorry, I was writing some names down and stuff, so I don't forget anyone. I don't like to forget anyone. But yeah, here we are, folks. We're the end of Deep Space Nine, season 2. But a long way to go through Deep Space Nine. So we only have 2 episodes for you tonight. But before we get to that, and before we get to our hellos and greetings and such, a couple of show notes. Firstly, don't forget the Sunday Night Geekery at Mark D with C's channel. I think he's going to be on tomorrow night, maybe a little bit later, but he's going to be showing us some New York Comic-Con stuff, I believe. So that'll be good. He's going there tomorrow. But let's see. Monday, I will do 2 shows again for the second week in a row. Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time will be Clobby's first ever members stream. All members. It'll be a private stream with us.
Yay.
I will send out, and I hope you all can make it. It's very difficult to find a time when, so not for me so much, but a time when I hope everyone can make it. So it's just different. I'm not really sure yet. We'll figure it out. But what will happen, of course, is all members will be, who will be invited. It's a private stream for the members, and I will I knew somebody had to make members joke. I'm gonna have to think of another name for the streams now. Clobbers. How about clobbery? It's for clobberers and clobberonimos. So about a clobby stream, whatever we're gonna call it. But yeah, it's a clobber stream. That's from now on. Just you'll know what a member, because somebody had to put the member joke in there. It's just the times we live in, I guess. But if it amuses you, then it's okay with me. However, a clobber stream, private me hanging out with you. And the StreamYards, for those who don't know, can take as many as 10 people. All you need is a microphone and a headset, so we don't get feedback and all that good stuff. So, and you can hang out, and if you so choose, you can just hang in the chat if you want to, or you could come on and talk to me live. We'll probably do like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun. That's going to be ridiculously fun.
Going to be fun. And I will look forward to getting to talk to some of you for the first time, probably. So I hope some of you can make it. So hope all of you can make it. But whoever, if you can't, we know how it goes, because it was tough for me to figure out a good time to do it. I hope that will be sufficient, because there's so many other nights that I'm either streaming or everyone else is streaming, and it's just it's not easy to figure these things out, what's the best times and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that will work. We will see. And if not, well, what's that?
Oh, nothing. Just boosh, McFadden.
Oh, yes. Well, anyway, so let's start our hellos. And actually, it'll be this could be a fairly short one tonight, since we only have 2 episodes, and then we'll do a season wrap up. So we don't have to, we can breathe a little bit. We don't have to be in a big hurry. Accordingly, big shout out to everyone out there who is just lurking, and everyone out there who just is listening on a download or a repeat viewing, or whatever you want to call it. Our lovely communications officer, Jill, will not be able to make it tonight, so we will miss her. But let's start saying our shout outs, shall we? Lord Thoth. LT is there, Lord Thoth, buddy. You, and a big shout out to you and your wonderful Mrs.
Lord
Lady Thoth
and Lady
Thoth. Yes. So good to see you here, my friend. I hope you were doing well. I hope you can make it to the member stream. But just again, Paulie had one today. Culture Casino had one today. People having member streams all over the place. It's about time I have one. I'm sorry, mine's a Kalabby stream though. See, then there's the member jokes. Members jokes, folks. It's just obvious. It's just too obvious. It's not that I don't appreciate a good joke now. I happen to be a joke in many ways.
Well, why don't I just tell them all that all members are private, and that's how you should keep it
private
to yourself.
Yep. See what I'm saying? I like a good joke, but it's sort of like a low-hanging fruit joke. Anyone can make the
Yeah, it is. I gotcha.
Yeah, but it's okay. But when you make them, when you do make the member jokes, you're gonna get some flack from me, because I want you to be better and more creative. That's all. Nah, just kidding. You can make any jokes you want right here. We love you. So again, LT, of course, and Jill couldn't make it tonight. We think our engineer Mark D's out there somewhere, and we think he might make it. We'll see. Hey, no apologizing, Pleasant Valley Picker. Make any joke you want. We might rag on you, but you still can make the joke.
Be more unapologetic, like boosh.
Yeah, I mean, no, look, never apologize for it, because remember, I'm going to rag on you either way. So you may as well just take it and say screw you say screw you, Clobby. That's the way you should be about it. So yeah, that's the way you should be about it. So anyway,
Wendy.
Oh. Yeah, good one. See, now Wendy was creative with it. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, yours was pretty good too, Pleasant Valley. I was just ragging on you about it, just giving you some shit. All right, anyway, With us tonight, of course, are our fantastic wrenches. We have the greatest here, of course, the great Eric K, the bronze wrencher.
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here, buddy. And we also have the great Chris Persia.
I love this.
The Vindicator wrencher. Thank you, Chris Persia, for being all you do, buddy. And of course, the great D Bud Martin. He can't be unrepresented.
That's right.
D Bud Tuska. This for you, buddy. This is a tribute, the debut of the Tuska tribute to the great D Bud Martin.
Yep.
And a great wrench and a great friend, and appreciate you, dude.
I was so excited when I saw these. I think they're terrific.
Yes. Well, they're pretty crappy looking, I know, but what the hell?
No, they're nice. And believe me, the guys appreciate it.
And CD Bud, look, Tuska, just for you, man. I went with a Tuska Iron Man. I know you'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see who else is out here with us. Okay. Oh yes, of course. A Palamise Binion.
And the pepperoni.
I didn't go exactly how I planned it, but anyway, I hope you heard it. Palamise and the pupper. J-Man. I think J-Man has dropped to lurking mode, but good to see you there, my brother.
J-Man!
As always.
Please follow J-Man. He's also an author. His name is Jason in real life, in the reels. Please go and buy his stories and his lovely wife's book of poetry. They're authors as well, and they're really cool people who you should support.
Actually, people think his name is J-Man or Jason. His name is actually your Hunter from the Future.
He's going to love that. Even in lurk mode, I bet you he's laughing right now.
Yes, that's his actual real name. And I guess I doxed him.
Yeah. You doxed him.
Indeedishness. Wendy and Jimmy, Trailer Warriors. Hey there.
Hey, Wendy and Jimmy.
Good. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Nice to see you, cute people.
Hey, Raymond Feliciano of
King Dolphin TV.
In color. A Quinn Martin production. That too. Brian Hepburn, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Brian.
The great enigmatic drop bear, my friend. Hey.
The erudite bear. I'm looking forward to our conversation this evening. Really excited about it.
Indeed. Cappuccino, Caverman Shea. Hello there, my friend.
Hello, Triple C.
The great J.T. Kirk is here.
J.T. Kirk.
Good to see you. What it is, Classic Comics. Good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Classic Comics.
The extraordinary, hungry for classy spookums, not gory Garbaggio, a.k.a. the great artist of CLOBBERIN Times, Hungry Boy.
That is such a good name. I love his latest name. You know, everyone else, they make up these names for themselves. He always uses his name to create commentary, like a pithy little saying, and I think it's great. Yes, we love Hungry Boy HB.
Good to see you there, buddy. Thank you so much. Always fantastic to have you with us. Matt G, hey.
Hi, Matt G.
Again, I know I gave a shout out to people who are watching on the downloads, but also I think our buddy Eric O'Sullivan and out there too, if you're listening later. And also, he can't be here, but he actually stopped into the clubhouse and said, "Look, I'm going to try and be there, but I can't. But I want you to know that I'm thinking of you, and I'm sending my best to you." And you know who that is? No.
The very man known as Pew 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 Pew.
Oh, Shooter. Well, shout out to Shooter if you're listening to this later, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you were well. Pleasant Valley Picker. Hey, what's
Hello,
up, dude?
BC.
Terrell 782. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, he's looking forward to listening to the show tonight. He's at work, so as per usual, I have to say, don't work hard, please. Work safe, and I hope you enjoy the show. We love you.
Indeed. Michael Beacom, shout out to you, my friend, and the wonderful Cassandra. Hope you're
love
all
the
doing well
Beacons
tonight. Yeah. We got the great JT Kirk, a $5 super chat.
Gift.
Thank you so much, JT. Appreciate you, buddy. You were too kind. He says, Have you seen the Netflix series Dahmer yet? Netflix just greenlit season 2. Dahmer and Gillette on a Dahmer and Gillette on a sandwich where the walls fell. Or I thought you were going there like Dahmer and Jazad.
Tanagra.
Tanagra when the wall. Yeah, I have not seen it though. No, JT Kirk. I hear it. People are saying it's good, but I can't. That's the kind of stuff I watch. It'd be too depressing for me. But I watch cartoons. So I'm almost 60 years old, but I'm a 12-year-old. With my watching habits, I watch cartoons and Star Trek. Old superhero cartoons at that. So,
you're fine. You're fine.
Well, look, I'm happy with it. It's just what I watch.
You watch what makes you feel happy. Oh, Hungry Boy, don't worry. She can't send in her critiques because she's doing something important with her family. So she's having a good time.
Good. She's
good. Everything's okay. But I don't think she'll be able to send in her critiques. I mean, maybe, but I know she's busy. No, but I want you to know that she did get a hold of Clobby, and she also got a hold of me. And she said, please tell everyone that I will miss them tonight. So shout out to Jill.
Absolutely. Wolfie. Good to see you there, dude. Fabio 100. Hey.
Fabio.
The Comic Relievy Crusadery. Hello there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boosh McFadden. Good to see you. Boosh. Masters Maniac Mexico. MMM. And in honor of you, MMM, I'm going to eat an M&M right now. There you go.
Triple M. Nice to see you.
Well, that's true. It's triple. So I'm eating 3 of them. There we go. Now, in honor of you, I'm eating 3 of them. How about that? I wouldn't do that with just anybody. Just you. Well, I might do it for someone else. Phantom outside, there was a man. He was a big man with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he.
Woo!
And right now, if my singing didn't scare everybody away, that's all we have so far on our friends who have hung out or showed up, I should say. Anyone else who comes in, we will bid them greetings accordingly.
Well, why don't you tell everyone what the show's about? Now that we said hello to everyone and we've established that this is a beautiful room filled with a bunch of friends. It's an unusual sort of place to be on the internet because this is the 735 Club. We are all friends here, and we welcome new people into the fold, whether they lurk or whether they listen after the show is over, or whether they just jump into the chat, which is very friendly, by the way. Bob,
very friendly chat.
Tell people why we're here. What are we all about?
Yes, in case, because you never know who was popped in for the first time. And so they're talking about Deep Space Nine. That's cool. Let's see what they're saying. What we've been doing here, the 735 Club, as deduced and by my wonderful first officer, Commander Briggs, is how many segments of real Star Trek exist in segmented form. So real Star Trek being, of course, 1966 or 2005, because anything after 2005 with the Star Trek label on it is not legitimate. It's not Star Trek, and it's filth. So we've decided, because we're insane, to review every one of those segments. And we started in January of 2021, reviewing Star Trek, the original series. We then moved on to the animated series, the original crew films, the Next Generation, and we are now ending season 2 tonight of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Our reviews, we do usually about 4 episodes a week until we get to the end of the season. We're doing the last 2 of the season, and then we'll do a little bit of a season wrap-up. We'll talk about best episodes, worst episodes, and kind of overall overview of the season. Mm-hmm. Number 1 here, we'll read from, I don't think you're using the same book tonight, are you? But
well, I mean, let's show them the book, because people are still asking me for it. Yeah.
Yes. So go ahead. I will now turn this over to number 1. She'll explain her sources, and we'll talk about tonight's episodes. She'll talk about the episode itself, or she'll talk about a synopsis of it. We will give our views on it, and then we will turn it over to our magnificent friends at the chat, and they will give their ratings and any thoughts they may have on the episode in question. So, number 1, take it away.
Yeah, this show has always been, since the beginning, it's always been a show where we could read a book together, and so I would read everyone the texts that we use, and everyone really enjoyed it. And it's a great text because if you're looking for information on Star Trek, a lot of the stuff you're going to find on the internet is factoid. It's not fact. It's not based in fact. It's a lot of opinions mixed in with a lot of fan lore, and ergo those factoids. They appear to be true, but they're not. And so, I come from publishing and writing and editing. And so I've been vetting books for us. And there's this wonderful author. Her name is Paula M. Block. And she writes these beautiful, she's written two of these beautiful books called Star Trek 365. And they are so good for podcasting because not only are they original source material, so she goes to the actors, the directors, the producers, and all the people behind the show, and she talks to them. But then she also does these extremely brief summaries of the episodes, and then she tells us a whole bunch of different stuff that happened behind the scenes, production stuff. And the difference is that Paula M. Block's stuff is vetted, it's in print, it's original source, so you can trust it. It's good stuff. And so we've been reading these books together. Well, this one that's in front of you right now, and if you're joining us and you're just podcasting, so you're just listening and you're not watching or participating in the chat, it's a visual of a book called Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion. It's written primarily by Paula M. Block's husband, Terry J. Erdman. Now, she rides second chair on this book. And so I highly recommend this book. This book should be right beside that TOS 365, then the TNG 365, and then right after that, you really do need this book. This book is vetted. It's original source material. It's glorious. But one of the reasons why we stopped using it is Terry J. Erdman goes on for like 7 full magazine pages
Each
about
episode.
yeah, and just the summary. And so here you are reading 2 or 3 magazine, 8.5 by 11 size pages of 10-point font, and then you don't even get to the production notes. And so it was really weighing us down. But people have actually come into the clubhouse and said, "Hey, what's my next book? Where are we going next?" And so it's really important for me to qualify that although I'm going to be using a Wikipedia summary, because it's hard to screw up a summary tonight, because it's fast and it's better for the show, people have come forward and said, "What's next?" This is what's next. It's a very expensive book. It's extremely hard to get. I don't even think it's in print anymore. If it is in print, I think it's like $495 Canadian or $250 or something American or $300 American. It's difficult to get. Shop around at your used bookstores, try and find it, see if you can get it on eBay. But if you can get your grubby little mitts on this book, this is the next one that I vetted as a wonderful, wonderful Star Trek resource. You got to have it. You got to have it. Try and get it. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's a good book. She's just saying basically maybe not all that conducive to, what we do here for the summaries because they're so detailed. We got some new friends popping. Lemon Pie. Hello there, Lemon Pie. Welcome. Zathras is here.
Crap.
Oh, and our wonderful friend, the lovely Katie Dax is here.
Oh, hello, ballerina extraordinaire.
What's up there? She says DS9 season 2 is a solid B. Well,
Nerd portal life form.
Hey, the nerd. What's up, nerd? Toriel? What's up, dude? How are you? Good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Well, I guess we are ready to get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so folks, our first episode. We only have 2 tonight because it's the end of season 2. Then we will do a season wrap up where we, obviously, as I said earlier, we will talk about the season as a whole, good, bad, ugly. Because some of us think there's a lot of bad and ugly, but we'll see. But our first episode for the evening is, of course, Tribunal.
Mm-hmm. Tribunal is season 2, episode 25. Now we're in an international scenario here, and some of you have been reporting that on different streaming services, you're getting different episode numbers. And that's because the streaming services bust up those multi episodes or those continued episodes and mess around with the numbers. If that's the case, either look for Tribunal, the title, or you can look up prod code 445. This aired for the very first time on June 6, 1994. And let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I am going to be reading from Wikipedia. I'm going to be reading the plot section. So this is user-generated material. I'm going to be reading it extemporaneously. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for me not previously reading anything I read on this show. And it's because I want this show to be authentic, organic. It's happening live. I'm experiencing it with you. I haven't sat around practicing what I'm going to say or what I think you're going to say about it. And Clobby and I want you all to know that that's a practice for Clobby and I. Whenever Clobby and I review something, we never show each other our notes. We never discuss it beforehand. So that keeps this beautiful Trekkie chat live and authentic and organic. But given that, I might make some mistakes. And, it is user generated. It's written by a whole bunch of different users. So let's see what comes out of it.
It's good enough to tell you the plot. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult to screw up.
Go for it.
On his way to leave for vacation with his wife, Keiko, Miles O'Brien runs into an old Starfleet crewmate, Raymond Boone, who served with him years earlier in the Battle of Selleck 3. The two old comrades chat briefly and part ways. Shortly after their departure, the O'Brien's runabout is stopped by Cardassians, who search the ship and arrest Miles. He is taken to a prison on Cardassia Prime and quote-unquote processed. His clothes are torn off and he's injured while resisting the guards. He meets his appointed advocate, Kovat, whose job is not to secure an acquittal, but to engineer O'Brien's cooperation so that the people of Cardassia can perceive that justice is being done. No one will tell O'Brien what the charges are against him. Back on Deep Space Nine, Keiko and Commander Sisko are informed that Miles has been declared guilty and sentenced to death, and will have a ceremonial, quote-unquote, trial in which the verdict is read. DS9 Security Chief Odo uses a legal technicality to get himself appointed to the team representing Chief O'Brien. He and Keiko depart for Cardassia. Meanwhile, the crew of Deep Space Nine discovers that... Sorry about that. Just had a little internet glitch. Meanwhile, the crew of Deep Space Nine discovers that a number of warheads have been stolen and have probably ended up in the possession of the Maquis, a faction that has been attacking the Cardassians. Major Kira finds a recording of O'Brien's voice requesting access to the warheads, but Lieutenant Dax finds evidence that the recording is a fabrication. When Odo offers to produce this evidence, the judge refuses to accept it. The senior officers, working under the assumption that the Maquis stole the warheads, identify Raymond Boone as the person Chief O'Brien spoke to prior to departing the station. A shadowy figure tells Dr. Bashir that Boone is not a Maquis agent and that the Maquis had nothing to do with the warheads. The crew finds evidence that Boone exhibited a major personality change about 8 years ago. When Bashir examines him, he finds that the man is not the real Boone, but a Cardassian surgically altered to look like him. They theorize that he was sent to fabricate evidence that Starfleet is aiding the Maquis. With little time left before the end of the ceremonial trial, Sisko arrives in the courtroom with Boone. The judge sees that the game is up and releases O'Brien, who is finally able to leave for his vacation. And that is all the users on the internet have to say about the plot of Tribunal. And now I'm going to throw it over to the captain. Captain, what did you think of this episode?
It is an interesting episode. Again, Colin Meaney, anytime he gets a spotlight episode, there's some, great stuff. It's always good for him to get to shine. Obviously, Rene Aubergine was terrific in this one. Some good Odo stuff. it's really tough for me sometimes to take the Kardashians all that seriously. Sometimes with some of the stupid things that go on in their with their the way their planet is run and stuff like that. So I I guess I'm kind of influenced by what Katie Dax is saying. Kind of, she says it was kind of a boring one there. I'm kind of, yeah, it's just, again, the idea is interesting enough, I guess, but I was kind of just waiting for it to get over with because it was just one of these things, just really, it's frustrating. You watch this episode and you go, you know what? I want to see Miles get out of this himself. I want to see him do something that I want to see the Kardashians paid for this kind of crap. I can't stand them. I get frustrated by stuff like this. I don't know. I don't have a strong appeal in the episode. I just think it was kind of filler again. This whole season has been extremely one big long stretch of mediocrity.
Well,
in this episode.
Katie called that at the beginning of the season. She stopped in one night. She said, "Look, guys, this season is a stinkeroonie," and she's right.
Katie, I don't know. I think she said it was a B. She said it was a B earlier.
She said it was B earlier, but previously at the beginning of season 2, she said, everybody beware. There are some stinker episodes coming, and it's not the best season of DS9. And I think she called it right.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a mildly interesting concept, I guess, but they do too much of this kind of stuff where they're just all about some sort of set piece drama that doesn't do much to advance the season. Again, I like the performances. Odo and O'Brien and stuff like that, but the episode just kind of makes me uncomfortable. Some of the Kardashians, I don't know, they're so stupid. The way their whole planet is idiotic. I'm glad they're based on the Kardashians now.
Thanks to Wolfie.
I just don't really care about this episode that much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Notes.
Okay, so if you're wondering what the boss is talking about with this notes thing, I rewatch Star Trek, the whole 735 every single year, and I start on January 1st. So I thought, what could I add to all of this? And so I add my knowledge as a nearly 45-year fan of Star Trek. And so I take a piece of paper and a pencil and I write notes. So some of it's reflection and some of it's little tidbits that I know are true, or maybe I look something up and prove that it's not true. And so that's what these notes are all about, an actual piece of paper with an actual pencil and me taking notes. And here they are.
Katie's on a rant.
Is she ranting? This is good. I like it when Katie rants. This episode is directed by Avery Brooks. And so if you play Star Trek trivia, you should know that this is the first time that one of the actors has directed in DS9. So that's a good trivia tip for if you're playing Star Trek trivia. And of course, so if you're asked the question, who is the first actor to direct a DS9 episode, it is Avery Brooks, and it is Tribunal. Why didn't Miles send a message to Starfleet before the Cardassians beamed aboard? He should have sent an SOS signal. He should have signaled Starfleet in some way from the runabout. So I thought that was really weird. And he just sort of gives himself over to the Cardis. And that's not Miles O'Brien's personality. It's not his way. He could find numerous ways to physically jam them and prevent them from getting on the runabout. So I think that part is poorly written. I love that Keiko just yells Miles, 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 and then I start singing that old song. I can see for miles and miles and miles and Anyways, it's miles and miles and miles. It's miles and miles of miles. This is very on the nose for North Korea, and I think it's a little difficult to take. We want Star Trek to be cerebral. So a courtroom, and we've talked about this before, and we've talked about this in the past. When authors use a courtroom is meant to try the character, to show the character what their past is, what their future is likely to be, and the strength of their convictions. So as if the character were real, this is about their character, their personality, their morals, their ethics, what makes them who they are. And I don't think that this episode does that. What this episode does is it uses a courtroom drama instead of to help us to see the character and believe in the character and to know the character is telling the truth and to establish a very strong relationship with that character. Instead, we get this very on the nose statement about North Korea. I think the dialogue stretches believability. There is no express fear of imminent execution, especially without trial. So I find it weird the way that Miles behaves. And I feel sorry for Colm Meaney because, he's a wonderful Irishman. He's an excellent actor, but there's only so much you can do here. Avery Brooks directed this. He did not direct him well. And let me just check again which nincompoop wrote this. Bill Dial wrote this. And it looks as though there wasn't even a story and then a teleplay. So there's another weakness there as well, which we talked about a lot in the past. You should start with a short story, and that short story should be massaged into a teleplay. So here we see the failure of Bill Dial and Avery Brooks, not the failure of Colm Meaney playing Miles O'Brien. And so I wanted to give an example as an academic, as an intellectual. I like to give examples, not just accuse and then not give examples. So one of the examples that stretched my belief and makes me sort of laugh and go, this is a stupid episode. Oh, Captain Infinity's here.
Captain Infinity and beyond.
Yep. Captain Cockney Spock.
What's up, buddy?
Old friend. So here's a dialogue exchange that just makes you scratch your head going, wow, are you serious right now? Odo says, how have they treated you, when he reaches him and he's in this Cardassian brig? And Miles returns, not so bad. Now, Miles was, probed naked. He had his clothes torn from his body, cut and ripped from his body. He had his eye scanned with a light so bad that he had a moused up eye, as though he were involved in some sort of pugilism, a boxing match. And then without sedative, they ripped out one of his molars.
I'd be wanting to kick some ass if I were Miles, and I would find some way to kick some ass. Sorry.
He was punched and strangled to the point where they put makeup all over his the top of his chest by his can't think of the bone right now, by the collarbones, and his neck is completely black and blue. Why would he say to Odo, not so bad? He's going to be executed without a trial. He's been beaten, mutilated. Why would he say this? Now, I'm not saying this to Miles O'Brien. I'm not saying this to Colm Meaney, because, as I said, wonderful Irishman, excellent actor. I love him. I'm saying this to Bill Dial, and I'm saying this to Avery Brooks. WTF, dudes?
Fabio, we usually everyone waits to do the review when we call for it, but thank you.
I'll just
start. So I don't know if he doesn't know. That's fine.
I'll just
let you know from always wait. We only have 2 tonight anyway. But
so I thought, I don't like that. That's a ridiculous conversation. I thought Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth would have a good laugh, because we always talk about the spoons in the foreheads of the Cardis, and this one, this is just for the Thoths. Spoon eyeshadow. Did you notice she's gone on her? Yes, she's gone on her spoon shadow. Sort of like blush or eyeshadow, only just for the Cardi spoon. This show doesn't make sense at all. This episode does not make sense at all. In the end wrap up, they try and tie up all of the loose strings, all of the threads to this plot, and it's just it's just ridiculous. So Boone was not Boone as far back as 8 years ago. They release him like the Kraken to go after Colm Meaney, to go after Miles O'Brien, to discredit the Federation, to make the Federation not to look complicit or like turning a blind eye, but to be actively working with the Maquis, and then to try and make the Federation look guilty. Huh? How the hell does that even line up remotely with what's gone on here? They took Miles and they put him on trial for something he didn't do. There were apparently some weapons, and then they transferred the weapons, and then all of this dialogue has to happen to explain everything that's gone on. And then this North Korea type structure, legal system, it is just cast all aside last minute, like the sky opens up and God reaches his hand down and says, right, this can't happen. And it doesn't make any sense that he would be executed. We know this because Gul Dukat has explained the Cardassian legal system before. So the whole fact that they're able to just produce this person who's been changed from a Cardassian into a human, who's supposed to be this boon, who's been waiting 8 years to set Miles up, or waiting 8 years to set the Federation up with the Maquis. We just found out about the Maquis. And did the Maquis even exist 8 years ago? When did the Maquis happen? I thought the Maquis happened when they went to the one planet and said, look, I'm sorry, we have to take this planet. And we're like, no, we're not going anywhere. That's when the Maquis happened. So the dates, the reasons, the rationale, the motives, the everything, none of it makes sense. This is a gigantic cow plop with undigested corn in it. It's poo.
Well, that I'm with you, totally with you on that idea about Boone being there for 8 years, being that Cardassian for 8 years. But I want to address a couple of things that people were saying in the chat, which I don't. For example, Lemon Pie says, so it could have been sarcasm, just a sense of stoicism. So he said it's not doing so bad. And then Classic Comics says, men generally don't want to admit weakness or will often play off injuries. It's not that bad, especially after a fight. Well, now, I want to address that a little bit. I don't disagree with any of those things. However, given what was done to him and this horrible injustice to him, I didn't expect him to cry like a baby. I expected him to be more of a sarcastic remark when he says, "How are they treating you? How do you think? Look at me." Yeah. Like, I mean, he should have been like, I know he's being stoic. He's been through a lot. However, most men would have been a little bit still at the point where Odo meets him. He's still going through a lot he's already been accused of all kind of bad stuff. All this crap's going on. He knows he's going to, I wouldn't have been in that stoic of a mood. I've been more like, I wouldn't have whined about it. And I'm not expecting O'Brien to whine about it, but be more a little bit along the lines of, well, how do you think? Look at me. And they're about to kill me. So then I'm not doing, some kind of more of a, first of all, why would you ask a dumb question like, how are you being treated? So that's just, for me anyway, a bit of a quibble with the way it was written.
Okay, but I just want to add to that. I just want everyone to understand. There's a very clear conversation betwixt, oh my goodness. I have stream brain here.
Odo?
No.
Brian?
Avery Brooks. Cisco, there's a conversation between Cisco and Makbar where Cisco says, if you lay a finger on him, if you mess with the treaty, the treaty that we have, where you cannot torture or do anything unpleasant with the prisoners, so there's a treaty there, that he would personally see to it that Makbar suffered. So Cisco makes that threat to Makbar, which is Lizard Lady. So I'm sorry, but I don't buy the argument thereafter that Odo asks him how he's being treated, and he responds with not so bad. There is no sarcasm in his voice. It has nothing to do with his personal feelings about masculinity. It has to do with the fact that they set up, Bill Dial and Avery Brooks set up Cisco and Makbar having a conversation about torture for prisoners or hostages that they take, or anyone who any humans they get or Bajorans that they get. This is a part of the treaty. So when he says, how have they treated you? What Bill Dial and Avery Brooks should have had Miles say back is, well, they've broken the treaty. I was tortured. And that's when he says, are you okay? And he should say, they strangled me, they beat me up, they cut my clothes off me, they pulled my tooth out of my head and messed with my eye. But I mean, it's nothing that Bashir can't patch me up. Get me out of here. Get me the F out of here right now. And Bashir can patch me up. It's nothing I can't get past. But the problem is that Bill Dial and Avery Brooks set Cisco and Makbar up to have the conversation about how prisoners would be taken and treated under this treaty.
Well, Picard was treated just as poorly,
yeah,
maybe more horribly than he was. But Im is here. Hey, Im.
And
Mark Seth, what's up? Good to see you, my friend. I just want to say, it's all fine to disagree all you want there, Pleasant. That's what we're here for. But what I'm telling you is, I don't even have that strong of a feeling that Raquel has a feeling about this episode that she does. It was, in spite of some of the criticisms she said that I do believe are valid, it's as a courtroom type of drama episode. It's sort of, I guess it's kind of okay. If you liked it, that's cool. This is not what I want in my Star Trek. And Deep Space Nine is a great show, but there are times when they put things in my Star Trek, or even on this show, that an episode here and there that I'm just like, like some of the, as I've mentioned before, some of the Bajoran politics episodes, and some of the other ones that are the courtroom dramas like this. Sometimes it's just not really what I'm into. That's all.
Yeah, it's too on the nose for North Korea. And if you're gonna go after this whole idea of oppressive governments or oppressive species, obviously you're now engaging in sociology, you're engaging in social science. Then you have to make sure that once you open up that can of proverbial worms, and you have Cisco threatening Lizard Lady Makbar about this torture, and then the torture happens, and then Miles doesn't report it. It makes you say, okay, what are we doing here?
Look at Katie. That's fantastic. I love it, Katie. Thank you. Lola Nodo. Zathras, I'm not arguing with you tonight on this one. Babylon 5 is better.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to listen to Zathras.
Yeah, it's your Star Trek too, Pleasant. What are we now? Like, are we like 9 years old now? Okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. So, what is your rating of Tribunal?
The Maquis didn't exist 8 years ago. Why do they have a sleeper agent named Boone who's trying to set up the Federation to make them look as though they're complicit in what's going on with the Maquis? And then Boone makes sure that he stays human, but then he's the sleeper agent who comes alive 8 years later. Look, the Maquis didn't even exist back then. It's a D.
You got me.
D.
A D. Wow. Okay. I rate it as a C. I don't really feel that strongly about it. I agree with a lot of your criticisms. I just found it to be mostly kind of there an episode. I'm just really, by the time it gets to its conclusion, because first of all, we know, even if for your first time seeing it, they're going to resolve it at the end, and O'Brien's going to be okay. And we got to see the show trial and all that stuff, and we know that, as you say, they were making a lot of analogies that just didn't really particularly interest me. So I'm just going to give it a C. I don't really care one way or the other. I still love this show. This season, doing a deep dive into this season again, sequentially, is making me go, look, love the show all you want. I do love it. But man, oh man, it is not perfect. It's not as bad as TNG, but it's not perfect. So...
Fabio, don't worry about it, honey. I started. I'm the one who's in charge of collecting all of the ratings, and I caught it, honey.
Don't worry about it. We saved yours. And Fabio, we just wait. Everyone, I mean, you probably just didn't know. It's fine. Everyone, now I'm going to give the word. Please send your ratings and any words you might have, all except for Pleasant Valley Picker, because it's not his Star Trek and he cannot review it. I'm kidding, BC. I am kidding you, dude. I don't take that as I couldn't help but mess with you because you look like you were getting some strong opinions there, buddy. Please, it's fine. The Catman, aka D.D. Myers.
I totally agree, Hungry Boy. To me, it's like the Maquis didn't exist 8 years ago. So how the heck would Boone be setting up the Maquis to implicate the Federation? What's happening here?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hang on. Okie dokie. When we get started, Fabio. Hope I'm saying it right, Fabio. But I don't know. I can be bad with my pronunciation sometimes. And yes, Wolfie, I know Setlick 3. We knew that, by the way. I just didn't want to correct number 1 there.
What happened?
The planet was not Selleck, it's Setlick. And he was
Setlick, yeah. The print is so small. I'm sorry. Right. I'm middle-aged. I love you. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. But you cannot, you can't get away with anything in this crowd. They're going to nail you no matter what you do. Anyway, Fabio says C+. Because it's a plot line that has been done many times before, wrongly accused or imprisoned. Thank you, Fabio. I definitely see where you're coming from. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Meyer, says, Clobby, I give it a C-. I think that's the minus is not close to the C, so I don't know if it means C- or just C. It could be a separator. I'm confused sometimes, so I like to point that out. Way too much drama for me, and the story stinks for my taste. Thought the story was way too long. Thank you so much, Catman. I'm pretty much with you on that one. It was, there's some interesting things about it, but I wasn't really big on it personally. Hungry for classy spookums, not gory garbaggio, says C-. Stressful. Sentence decided before a court convenes. DS9 is a Bajoran prophet. DS9 is a Bajoran prophet for Twitter cancel culture. Oh my God. Yeah, there you go. Plus deepfake deepfake tech a la misuse of O'Brien's voice.
Yes.
Yes, true. Yes. Let's see. Fritz Weaver. Yeah, that was Fritz Weaver. That was the actor. Yeah. Hoorah! He was a good actor. Yeah. A beloved character actor from Creep Show, Night Gallery, and Wonder Woman, and a lot of other TV stuff. That was Fritz Weaver. All right. Was he related to Dennis Weaver? I don't know. Anyway. Perfect casting. He saves this ep for me. Seen him in a bunch of stuff. Hang on a second, folks. The Cardassian Ministry of Engineering must have designed Makbar's hair for interstellar travel. Many zones. I dig it. Can you dig it? Dig it? He's got another 3 of 4. That says 3 of 4, Hungry Boy, but your next one also says 3 of 4. I don't know if that's a goof or what, buddy. But it says, Bashir chews the scenery worse than New Trek chewed up reputations. Wow. Ack. Thank goodness for Renee Odo in this episode. Yes. Bashir.
Hey, Mark D with a C just walked through the door, boss.
Never
Our chief engineer has arrived.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about.
Our chief engineer is reporting for duty.
Okie dokie. Well, I think it said 3 or 4, but he may have meant 4. So if I see another one there, Hungry Boy, let me know. I mean, please let me know if you have another one. Good to see you, In. Said C-, weak sauce. We're glad to see you, though.
Yeah, I love
it. Oh, there's the other one. The Cardassians Ministry of Engineering must have designed my... I already got that one, sorry.
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay, now we have... Wolfie said, rating a B. If anyone wants to bring up how the Kardashians... It cracks me up every time. Are just people and deserve a chance, I offer now as the time to bring it up. Miles got the Picard treatment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 molars. So.
There are 4 molars.
Yes.
Missing from my face.
Pleasant Valley Picker says, F, I think this is the worst episode ever. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Our good friend, Pleasant Valley Picker, says, A+. Love the start with Miles. With Miles, I think you mean when Miles is driving, everyone nuts. Everyone is nuts. It's driving everyone nuts. Oh, driving everyone nuts. Sorry, that's me, not you. By hesitating to take leave. Boone works as a plot device. Keiko, Miles. I'm not going to play it. You're not going to make me. Just like Scotty, Miles loves to relax reading tech manuals. That was a nice Scotty reference. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm with you there, Pleasant. Let's see here. The sequence where Miles is abducted and processed is disturbing. Yeah, fair enough. Cardassian justice, in quotes, system is of show trials, shows what a dysfunctional society they are. The scene with Kovat is very creepy. Wasn't he in a couple of scenes? Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Was Kovat was his attorney, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that actor I've seen in some stuff too. I can't remember his name there. Plus, played brilliantly by the great Fritz Weaver. Wasn't Fritz Weaver? Who did he play?
Fritz Weaver is played by Kovat.
It's played Kovat.
Kovat is played by Fritz Weaver.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen Fritz Weaver in a bunch of stuff. All right. Anyway, when he says winning isn't everything, you realize how twisted his mind has become. Serving a corrupt empire, Miles stole warheads. Okay, there we go. Kira seems to not care. Her Maquis sympathies showing. But I don't know. Kira was kind of weird off in this one to me. I thought she was.
It's the writing.
It's the writing. I didn't think she. I don't. It wasn't very Kira. I thought she would have been enraged at what was happening.
Bill Dial.
It was. First of all, you know how she feels about the Cardassians, and they're doing this to one of her own. Didn't buy Kira in this episode personally, but anyway.
Yep.
Bashir's passionate concern for his friend is touching. Yeah, with you there. He has a good heart, even if he's a horn dog dork at times. When Odo tells Miles they invite families to the execution so viewers can see them weep, shows how sick Kardashian justice, in quotes, is. Miles' speech about being the best human being, how I know how to be, is fantastic. I did like that as well. That was fine with me. I think Miles is terrific. In court, Odo puts his best effort in. When he questions their reliable sources and gets rebuked, he sits down and folds his arm. You can tell he is totally pissed at the contemptible proceedings. Yes, absolutely. You can tell that. How was Cisco allowed to enter with Boone? They don't even show that, so we'll never know. But yeah, I hear you. Why did the court fold so easily? Just to hide the fact Boone was part of a huge Cardassian plot to discredit the Federation, it seems. It's a fair cop, probably so. Oops, sorry, here we go. When Miles says, but we haven't any bags, I thought, Miles, you have the only bags Keiko cares about, okay? Lol. Colmini is excellent as Fritz Weaver, as is Fritz Weaver. Well-written examination of show trials. Thank you, Pleasant Valley Picker.
Oh my.
Oh bye. Appreciate that. Fabio, I do say it right. Well, good. I will continue to say it that way. Then thank you so much. The Catman has another same one. C.
No, that's not. It's not that he gave another one. It's that you asked him. If there was a space, and
they were separated.
Didi just always makes sure he answers whenever you ask Didi anything. He'll answer you, honey. So he just wanted you to know it wasn't a clear C. It was a C minus.
Captain Finity says, "I never saw a DS9 ever. A+. Only because I am in a most excellent mood. Well, thank you,
I love Captain Cockney Spock.
Captain Infinity and Beyond. J.T. Kirk says,
boss,
yes.
Before you go, before you start, because I don't want you to get mixed up, I just wanted you to know that Maddie's daddy, Steve M, has just walked through the door. Thor in Las Vegas is in the house.
Steve Mitchum, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, bro. Hope you and Maddie are doing well, bro. 3 pulled molars out of 5, says JT Kirk. I'd bring tech update manuals too if I had to spend days alone with Keiko. Replicate a freaking holocam already. The writers need a stent and a Setlick 3 on Setlick 3 for this one.
Yep.
Wow, and your rating wasn't that low. Katie Dax says, my review, in the Bajoran justice system, Cardassian-based offenses are considered especially dubious. On DS9, the dedicated constables who investigate these tedious cases are members of...
I know what she's doing right now. Katie, I love you.
An alien squad known as the Miles O'Brien Safety Squad. These are their stories. Law and Odo, indeed. I love you, Katie. Well done. Let's see here. If you would like to read the great enigmatic drop bear, then I will continue after that. But I'll switch with you now if you want.
Okay, we'll switch. I'll go over to your starred tab. Yeah, I'm going to start with ED because he's at the top of the list here. Enigmatic drop bear, the erudite bear. I'm so looking forward to seeing what he has to say. He's got an 8-parter on this one, and he gives this episode a C. He says, apparently a predisposition for misery is central to the chief's role. Yeah, I'm getting tired of it too. No wonder he was a little perturbed by the prospect of leaving the familiar torment incumbent in his workplace routine. Yeah, exactly right. Seems to be the only time he is safe. Better that than the trauma of forced isolation with Keiko and being detained as an unwilling defendant in a Kafkaesque show trial operating under the aegis of an Orwellian regime. Yeah, and it's chokingly apparent. Even his colleagues and supposed friends are quick to consider the potential for his guilt, plotting that could be construed rational were it not for Chief's well-established assiduity. I can't talk tonight, you guys.
Assiduity?
Yeah. Anyway, I can't talk, you guys, and I also can't read. There's something wrong with me. Maybe it's because I downed an entire can of cherry Coke before the.
They say cherry Coke will inhibit one's reading.
Oh no, I think it's actually the caffeine. Anyways, I sound like a friggin' dingbat, and I'm not reading anything correctly. So whatever. I might have to turn it over to you, Clobby. 4 out of 8. No, you do. It's implausible to just call myself a dickbat instead of a dingbat. I can't read. Anyway, it's implausible that a 24th century voice print system wouldn't detect audio sync anomalies, especially deployed as the principal authentication mechanism for entering a high security area. Yeah, exactly right. Because we have that in TOS. TOS, it's very clear that the computer can run an authentication protocol, if I'm able to speak English this evening. 5 out of 8. And no security footage of individuals entering the weapons store. Again, implausible. And yeah, I'm also going to agree with this one with you, Enigmatic Dropper, because there have been times where Odo has said that there are only certain reaches of DS9 that have cameras and that are regularly patrolled. So they're leaving the impression that there are cameras, that there are monitoring systems going on through most of the stations. So I agree with you there. 6 out of 8. All that said, the major problem with this episode is its basic premise that a sleeper agent would be used in an elaborate ruse to ultimately justify destroying Federation colonies in the demilitarized zone. Shocking that I was able to say demilitarized zone. 7 of 8. inconceivable goal given the consequences that would surely follow its achievement. The sleeper remained undetected for 8 years, so was more valuable, retained for intelligence gathering. Yeah, why wasn't he left in place? And plus, using the way that they describe using him against the Maquis didn't even exist back then. That's just dumb. So pulling a sleeper agent out like that's stupid. I agree with you. 8 out of 8. Chief's predicament and the liberal application of Orwellian and Kafka themes and characters make this episode quite effective as a dark comedy. And from that perspective, I would give it a B+. If this were a comedy, I would have enjoyed it. I probably would have given it an A. And then he has a follow-up comment. Boone was a sleeper agent. The Maquis were an opportunity to exploit. That said, his deployment was, I think he just meant was, a daft tactic. Yeah, I totally agree. And that is all Enigmatic Drop Bear had to say. Sorry, I can't read, you guys.
You're good. You did great.
Apparently, I'm a dick bat, not a ding bat.
Works for me.
I don't know what's going on. Can't read tonight. Sorry.
Good. Come on now. Raymond Feliciano King Dolphin TV says D. What's D minus? Might be a D minus. A small D at that. Court meat kangaroo. Court meat kangaroo. I got you. Kangaroo court. Gotcha. Sign. Let's see. Sing. What? Sing other Miles suffering episode. Sigh. Now who can't read? I think it's a.
Is it spreading?
Miles suffering episode. Meh. Let's get on with the season finale. Fair enough, Raymond.
Hungry boy. I don't drink any type of pop. I don't drink pop, but I had an opportunity to have a cherry Coke imported from the UK, which means it's cherry Coke made with sugar and natural cherry flavor. Mm-hmm. And I power slammed it. So it's a lot of sugar and it's a lot of caffeine. And yeah.
I love them.
Anyway, sorry, everyone.
That's about Slider says, C. I have never considered the Kardashians as a threat. Sure, you cannot really trust Garrick, but the antics of Kim and co make them less legit threat. They didn't make Miles watch Kim's sex tape. Yeah, that was coming next, if you pardon the pun. He felt he got off early. Okay. Also, if they had shown him the tape, that'd be a violation of intergalactic law. As revenge, Cisco sent the tape out on every Kardashian frequency, and they had to watch Kim.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to comment.
For 48 hours straight. The real really regret messing with Cisco. Star Trek should not pick aliens with sex tapes as the main antagonist in the show. Lol.
What? I just can't.
That's what we have going on here tonight. Captain Infinity said, weak sauce.
No, his Captain Infinity, Captain Cockney Spock, he's like, he put weak sauce in quotes, and then he was like, classic,
Indeed.
Because, of course, love saying weak sauce. Anyway.
Deedishness. Sorry, I was eating M&M. Because I'm hungry, boy. Chris Berger says, D. Not the most compelling episode. Some of the points regarding how political prisoners are treated fell flat. One of the things that dropped this from a C to a D rating is the misuse of Fritz Weaver. Mm-hmm. In particular, how do the writers actually believe Kovac could convince a foreign political prisoner would willingly accept a death sentence for essentially an enemy state? That stuff right there was some of the crappiest writing. I like that actor as well. He said, insert raspberry, of course. Thank you, Chris. That was some dumb shit right there. Because, again, all this stuff about when he's trying to see, that's what really makes the episode lose credibility points with me, even if I was into that type of a story, which I'm not. When he's trying to convince O'Brien how wonderful his death is, how great it's going to be for him. I mean, it's not like he's trying to convince another Cardassian of that who's lived his whole life in that situation, who might be, brainwashed enough to go, yippee, I get to do something good for my planet. O'Brien's an outsider, so it was so goofy. It was that part really stretched credulity for me. So,
well, yeah, and plus because it's like, I don't know what kind of commentary it is, but just like the whole idea of the Cardassian legal system is preposterous. Like, think about it.
Right.
If every single time you were, guilty without any trial or anything, you're found guilty before you're even put on trial. Imagine what is that like? Is that population control? Because if all of these people are then immediately executed or imprisoned or exiled, but isn't it pretty much like execution is like the remedy for everything? It's just, okay, so what would happen if somebody was poor and he was down on his luck and he stole a couple of steaks from a local store? He's guilty without a trial, and he's going to be executed. And they do this for their glorious nation, to show that their glorious nation is a glorious nation. What? Like, it should actually be something that makes you angry. But if it's so extreme that it becomes silly, then you don't even believe that it could be that harmful, and you're not immersed in the story anymore, because it just stretches so far that the string snaps. And so I have no respect for that. And I think it's goofy. I think it's dumb.
Agreed. B from the great Mark D with a C. Meany gave a good performance in this episode, especially realistic that he would be more interested in tech manuals than Keiko. Whoa, wow, man, this is mean stuff here. Insight, everyone's been mean to Keiko tonight again. Insight into Cardassian courts and society was well done. It was just so silly. I don't know for me, but I hear you. But they have no more ambiguity. They are clearly the villains, and yet the Federation has signed a treaty with them. Yeah. How could O'Brien's voice print be used for security?
No, that's what Enigmatic Dropper and I said as
that
well.
Seems awfully. That seems awfully easy to crack in a high-tech society.
Mm-hmm.
Story wrapped up way too quickly and neatly. Oh, Miles, you're saved. And now Miles is stuck on vacation without tech manuals. The horror. Yeah, I mean, he gets tortured all over again. Poor old Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And Wolfie says that's what the justice system is like in 38 countries right now. Yeah, but
that's true.
In those countries, though, there's something behind that has to be unpacked. And we don't get political on this show, but like, let's say I'll offer up just one example. Theocracy. So if it's a theocratic rule, then there's a rationale behind it. But the Cardassian system of killing people to show the glory of their empire, the glory of their society, I just think it stretches way too far. Everyone is found guilty immediately. I don't know about that. And then all of a sudden, for the first time in the history of Cardassian society, somebody was found innocent, and it's the first time. Oh, come on.
Bit of a stretch. Yes,
it's
Bashir.
Too much.
I think Bashir and Captain Flashheart. Lord Flashheart, indeed. I love him. A great Blackadder reference from Enigmatic Drop Bear. Let's see. Okay, ready for our next episode, our final episode of the year.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
That would be...
JT Kirk says, I'm headed into lurk mode for the rest of the show.
Okay.
I have to get to bed. Big day tomorrow.
Good
JT
night,
Kirk,
JT.
I'm sending my love to you, sending you a big hug. Thank you for being here, and have a great weekend, sweetheart.
Next
can't remember if are you Canadian? I can't remember if you're Canadian or not. If you're Canadian, honey, happy Thanksgiving. He's not? Okay,
remember,
all right.
Then you send him socks in the States?
I don't send those things. The chief engineer, I send the money to the chief engineer, and the chief engineer does it for me
But he
because
did,
he
I think.
can't get stuff over the
Oh, well,
border.
I don't think he is. Anyway,
Okay.
not sure.
Yeah, anyway.
So, next episode, Camping with Quark, as Katie said. No, the Jemadar.
The Jemadar! Season 2, episode 26, prod code 446. This aired for the very first time on June 13th, 1994. And let's hope that my sorry ass reading does not continue.
You're fine.
Here we go. So this is from Wikipedia. So this is, crowdsourced. This is what the internet has to say about the plot of this episode. And it's quite long. Jiminy cricket, people. Commander Sisko and his son Jake are preparing for a father-son camping trip to a planet in the Gamma Quadrant. Sisko is disappointed when Jake invites his best friend Nog to join them, and even more dismayed when Nog's uncle Quark invites him along as well. They depart as planned, but as they set up camp, Quark quickly becomes irritated by the environment and argues with Sisko, leading an embarrassed Nog to storm off into the woods with Jake chasing after him. Sisko and Quark are startled when an alien woman comes running out of the forest, pursued by a troop of fierce soldiers who take all three captive. Sisko, Quark, and the woman, Eris, are taken to a cave where they are imprisoned in a force field. Eris warns Sisko that the field is lethal and that she is unable to use her telekinetic abilities to disable it due to the suppressive collar around her neck. She explains that the soldiers are Jemadar, bred and put into service by the Dominion, who rule that section of the Gamma Quadrant, and that they cannot be escaped or defeated. They cannot be escaped or defeated. Okay. That wasn't me that time, folks. That was the writing. Sisko points out that they have been imprisoned together and are not under close guard, believing that he can use their captors' apparent overconfidence to their advantage, and begins by attempting to remove Eris's collar. Third, Talak Talon, leader of the Jem'Hadar group, informs Sisko that the Dominion will no longer tolerate the presence of ships from the other side of the wormhole, and reveals extensive knowledge of the Alpha Quadrant. But he refuses to allow Sisko to speak with the founders, leading the Dominion, whom Eris then claims are a myth. After several hours, Sisko makes some progress on removing Eris's collar and enlists Quark to pick the lock. Meanwhile, Jake and Nog, having returned to camp to find Sisko and Quark gone, locate the Jemadar encampment. They return to the runabout, but are unable to beam the captives off of the planet or bypass the ship's autopilot to break orbit in order to get help. When they finally gain control of the ship, they realize that without a autopilot, they will have to learn to pilot themselves. Such a stupid part of the story. Back on DS9, a ship arrives unexpectedly through the wormhole, and Talon suddenly materializes in ops, despite the station shields being raised. He informs the crew that Sisko is being detained by the Dominion, then transports away before he can be caught, walking unaffected through a security force field. Captain, I forget how you say that name, in command of the Galaxy-class starship USS Odyssey, arrives at the station to assess the situation and mount a rescue mission. He allows the station's two remaining runabouts, crewed by Major Kira, O'Brien, Dax, Odo, and Dr. Bashir, to accompany the Odyssey on its mission. Quark manages to remove Eris's collar, allowing her to disengage the force field, and the three escape. Meanwhile, the Federation ships come under attack, with the Odyssey sustaining heavy damage as the Jem'Hadar weapons are able to bypass its shields. O'Brien beams aboard Jake and Nog's runabout and takes control, then beams aboard Sisko, Quark, and Eris. As the group begins to retreat to the Alpha Quadrant, one of the Jem'Hadar ships makes a suicide run at the Odyssey, colliding with it and destroying it almost instantly. Back at the station, Quark discovers Eris's collar is fake, and they deduce that she is a spy for the Dominion, which she admits before transporting away, leaving the crew with the realization that their dealings with this powerful new opponent have only begun. And that is what internet peeps have to say about Jemadar Season 2, Episode 26. What did you think of this?
Yeah, it's an all right episode. There's some good. It's mostly just some character stuff and some setup stuff. This whole episode is just basically, let's end the season with some setup for some portents for down the road. Some of the character stuff between even Cisco and although there was a couple of exchanges between Cisco, Quark is given what I used to have a name for it. He's given human science fiction writers dialogue. What I mean by that is many human science fiction writers, which is the only kind we know, let's face it, love to use alien mouthpieces to trash humanity and to speak through. No one, hey, Roddenberry did it. A lot of people did it. Some have done it better than others. But sometimes some of these sanctimonious speeches made by aliens about humans always are always crap to me. Some of the ones that Quark has here to me are bullshit. I think they're stupid. I don't like them. They kind of damage the episode. Hello, Narat and Axamanda Bear. Good to see you. Welcome. That said, it's a relatively entertaining episode in terms of some good character stuff, but not a lot happens. There's not a lot of substance to it or anything like that. So, it's okay. It's all right. It's just like for a season finale, or it may have just been made as an excuse to blow up another Galaxy-class starship.
Right?
Yeah. So
Wolfie is saying Koei or Kogahe.
Was it Kyo or I forgot how they pronounce it on the show now, and I watched it yesterday.
Yeah, and they probably aren't even pronouncing it on the show correctly. That's actually something I would probably ask Hungry Boy about, because that's actually Irish.
Right.
And so the Irish pronunciation guide is way different than you could ever imagine. Like I'm Irish. I don't speak Irish, but I can tell you that the way the sounds that they assign to certain letters are extremely difficult to learn. In Canada, I think you would probably pronounce that co. So because
Right.
the GH being right, co.
I can't. I remember. I forgot already how they pronounce it, so I'd have to hear it again.
Yeah.
But the
Irish is hard.
Sci-fi sermonizing to me, it becomes a little tedious sometimes. Many writers do it with alien characters. They do it from Doctor Who to Star Trek, all over the place. Sometimes I find it to be like, wait a minute, you have this alien lecturing humans because you want to make your statement about humanity. It's fine, but these aliens that you have doing it do the same, worse, just as bad a crap as humans do. But you need it like. When Spock gets sanctimonious about humans, sometimes I'm like, "Low, like you never did it." So shut up. I hate that kind of crap. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I've always had it. I can give you in another time give you a lot of big time examples. However, that we're not here for that. It's just the kind of overall, it's a relatively entertaining, harmless episode that does set up some interesting things down the road. I like getting to meet the Jemadar. That's pretty good. And it was, again, because we're going to be spending a lot of time with them. I found them to be at least intriguing. But of course, if you're seeing this for the first time, you see them. Obviously, we know a lot about them now, but seeing them for the first time, I would find them to be interesting. And yeah, so it's an okay episode. Not a terrible ending, at least I don't think. But do you have some notes for us on this one?
I do. I have notes, and yes, thank you, Hungry Boy. It's Keo. So thank you, Hungry Boy. And yes, Irish is very difficult. And yes, I do find it funny when people say Sam Hain, because they look at it and they see Sam and then they see Hain, but it's actually Samhain. So now that I know about the different pronunciation structures of Irish, Gaelic, I'm very hesitant to pronounce it. I don't want to get myself into trouble. It's kind of like the Koch brothers, Coke or Koch. So it's like three different pronunciations. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Anyway, thank you for that, sweetheart. I really appreciate it. These are my notes. This is the episode where Cisco babysits. Why does Jake ask the computer to disengage autopilot and plot a course back to the wormhole? This might be the stupidest bunch of dialogue ever created in Star Trek. This is beyond reason. It's even beyond reason for a child. It's also weird that he's able to completely unplug the autopilot, which basically would be tantamount to a spark plug, but then afterwards has a lengthy conversation with Nog about how he couldn't re-engage it. It's just absolute horse hockey. He could just put the plug back in. He basically, they make it seem as though he just unplugged something. He could plug it back in. Even a nincompoop can do that. Nog and Jake's scenes are trying and they're hard to endure.
Yeah.
Now, when back in 1994, this is one of the reasons why I actually didn't like DS9, is that I found many of the episodes were for children, and I don't like the kid episodes where it's like you see very young boys playing with each other and discovering their world. It's just not appealing to me. I don't like all of the squealing. And I think that the way the kids react is not the way that children would actually react. So I find it comedic. I think it's obviously comedic to everyone. And I just think it's really stupid. Jake's mother was killed. And Jake, in previous episodes, has shown that he passionately loves his father. He looks up to his father as though he's like a god. His father is very engaged in his life. They have a very intimate relationship. They tell each other absolutely everything that's going on in their heart and in their head. They have a very physical relationship. So this is a plugged in. This is like the ideal dad. This is a dad who hugs his son. He kisses his son. He punches him in the shoulder, rubs the top of his head. He tells him that he's a good boy. He tells him when he's a bad boy. He cares about his dreams. This is a really, really great father. And so I just think it's weird that Jake is completely unconcerned and is even laughing and giggling and stuff with his father being a prisoner of these Jemadar. And he knows he's seen the Jemadar. And now, there's this threat that his father's going to be killed. And here he is laughing with Nog in the runabout. It seems weird, and it's not like Jake to act like that. It's not like Jake has a regular dad. Jake has like the ideal dad. This is a great papa. This is somebody who he loves, and it's basically his best friend. So I thought it was weird. Those are not the correct emotions for that type of scene. And so I would definitely say to Kim Friedman, who directed this episode, that she could have directed the kids a lot better on this one. I also thought that it was really weird that Eris doesn't recognize Odo as a founder. And even if she says, "Oh, the founders, they're not real, they're pretend," or whatever, or somebody shoots it down, they would still know it in their literature or in their lore, because of course they're gods. So I also thought that was really weird, and we know what's coming, and it's obvious what they're setting up. So this is a flaw. It's not something that they didn't know about while they were building the story. So Ira Stephen Bear should have seen that when he was writing this story, and he should have made sure that there was some continuity editing going on there. So overall, I think this episode is a gigantic poopy diaper that has been pooped in several times, and I'm good without it. I'm all good.
Oh my goodness! Well, there you go. I don't have a lot to say about it. It ended the season. I didn't mind it that much. I thought it was good. I like some of the character stuff in it, but yeah, the kids. I'm with you on that. Look, not only the last, maybe the only cool kid in all of science fiction was Will Robinson. Everybody else is just annoying. So I don't know. The real one, by the way, not the.
Well, I think kids like this kind of stuff, Bobby, but I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I got you. Yeah.
Like Nog needs a licking. He needs.
Oh, I can't stand Nog. Look,
I'm Irish, so I say
liked
licking. I would never ever harm a child ever. That's just the way the Irish say it, or the Irish people I was raised with say it. They say a licking, but I guess in the United States they call it a spanking. That kid needs a spanky, and he should be grounded and put in his room. He is ridiculous. He's bad. He's a bad kid, and so obviously, if you're watching this as an adult, you're like, oh, somebody just.
Wow.
You know, whack that kid. No, but I'm not advocating violence. I don't believe in hitting children.
No.
But you see what I'm saying? Like it leaves an adult frustrated. An adult doesn't want to deal with that. Look, in my downtime, I don't want to deal with your brat. I have my own personal life. I don't care about your brat. Keep your brat to yourself.
I hear you. I'm never really liked Nog. Never could. It took me, not a big fan of him. But yeah, so the episode's just sort of there for me. What is your rating of the Jem'Hadar?
D.
D, another D. Or did you have the F last time, right?
Oh, I got some Fs.
Okay, I got this one as a C minus. It didn't really care too much. But everyone, please now start with your reviews of the Jem'Hadar. Please start putting those in there, and we'll get them ready to go.
You heard the boss. The word's been given. Fire at will. Fire at will.
Go for it. And then we'll be saying goodbye to season 2.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
We'll miss you, season 2.
No,
You're a bit of a stinkeroony.
We'll get better, though. Hold out hope, my friends. Things will get better. Raymond Feliciano says B+. It has flaws. And yes, another bald guy loses a Galaxy class starship. Oh, wow. I wish I had a chance to see more of Eris. She was intriguing and woo the Jem'Hadar, that this is what I am talking about. Thank you, Raymond. I agree she was intriguing. Hungry Boy says, it's easier, Raquel. Just make Nog eat 2 plates of broccoli with them teeth. Yikes. Okay.
I love him. I just love him. I think it's great. Oops.
Zathras says, D. Can we just get to the Dominion War? No. Patience, my son. We can't.
I love you.
Did you say that at the end of season 2 when you said, can we just get to the Shadow War? You probably did. Now that I mention it. Now that I think about it, you probably did, dude.
Oh.
Zathras. Hungry Boy says C-. The Jem'Hadar, or as gem-like as the 1970s rhinestones, per the quality as original alien villains. Go get work on Scooby-Doo, Gem Boys. Wow.
Boss man,
yes, ma'am.
Raymond has to leave. Everyone, please say goodnight to Raymond Feliciano.
All right,
and
Raymond.
Please follow King Dolphin TV.
In color. All right, Raymond, be good, buddy. Put your link in there if you want.
Oh, I didn't do it. King Dolphin TV.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry for the Clobby Comics reference, but the Quark Cisco repartee is like the best Marvel team up in 2-in-1 issues. Yeah, I mean, I did like them together. They were kind of funny together. I was fine with that. That was probably okay. I just don't like Jake, and I like Jake, but I don't like Nog. Here we go. Who knew that Quark's plan for sale of for a sale of collectibles would presage Amazon by decades? Well, yeah, true, huh? Presage. Quark's last name must be Bezos. Actually, it is. You can find that in the Star Trek dictionary. A lot of people don't know that. It was great to see Molly Hagan run with the 1940s B-movie elements of this episode, plus the 1946 high perm hair.
Yeah. Yep.
She was a cutie. I liked her. I was hoping the first race I would meet would be Klingons. Guess you eat at Golden Corral to tube, eh, buddy? Holy crap, shameless riff tracks. Yep, I love it. Get you either Golden Corral too. I just can't remember the exact riff tracks it's from, buddy. I'm sure you probably do because you're you. But I like it. Wolfie says rating B plus. I need to move my screen a little bit. Go back closer here. I want to go A, but won't because of the squealing by Ron and Jake. By Ron and Jake? I mean Nog and Jake, maybe, because Ron's not in that one.
He means Nog.
Okay. This episode flips a complete 180, 1/3 of the way through to the most serious situation the crew have faced yet. True dat. I like this makeup. I like this makeup for the Jimidar full face mask, but allowing the actors to act a far cry from forehead accessory of the week. Gotcha. New starship alert. Jimidar attack ship. Length of 68 meters and a crew of 42, according to Star Trek Encyclopedia 2 Electric Boogaloo. Unique design and color scheme. It looks like a bug. I like it. Yeah, sort of like a Blue Beetle's ship, right?
Electric.
In a sense. That's a MSC3K habit. Well, and other things. USS Odyssey. This is only the third Galaxy class we have seen thus far, and second destroyed USS Yamamoto. Was this before Generations? Maybe it was right before it. So, phased Polaron beams can penetrate Starfleet shields. Yikes! That's 4 of 7. Oh, now I'm seeing 7 of 7 after that. Well, let's see. Okay. 5.
Michael Beacom is calling me guzzling a can of cherry cola, knowing that I don't drink pop. He's calling it liquid dyslexia.
Good. That would explain
I love
a
you,
lot.
Michael Beacom. I love you, Cassandra Beacom. Hail and long live the Beacoms. I love you. Mwah!
The Dominion means effing business. They sacrifice themselves to gather information and already seem to know everything about the region of space on the other side of the wormhole. They used a hollow model of the Enterprise D that was used in Cause and Effect, TNG, for the destruction scene. No CGI in this episode, folks.
What?
It's all real composite shots.
Wow.
Stuff that made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I wanted to meet a Klingon. We anticipated that response. Where did you get this pad? You have no idea what's begun here. Thank you, Wolfie.
Hey, Alaric Harrison just walked through the door. Hello, Alaric. It's so nice to see you.
Good to see you. Pleasant Valley Picker says he gives it a C. Decent season ender, introducing the Dominion and the Jem'Hadar and founders in one episode was efficient. That the Jem'Hadar knew so much about the Federation was a bit hard to believe. Yep. Quark whining is good fun. Good scene where Quark tells Cisco, "We are better than you." No, I didn't like that scene personally. Nice scene when they are running, and Cisco won't leave Quark behind. And yes, yeah. I mean, Quark's a great character. I love it, man. I do love him. Odyssey being destroyed, definitely the Dominion sending notice to the Federation. It's a fair cop, man. And a flawed episode, as some elements mentioned are dropped after this episode. Perhaps because the Dominion seemed too powerful in this one.
That's a very good point, and that was the difficulty with the Borg. When they realized what they were doing with the Borg, they made the Borg. Michael Piller was very concerned about the fact that the Borg seemed like an invincible foe, and they had built it up to the point where they weren't going to be able to back away from it or have any resolution. So that's a good point.
There you go. Michael Beacom says D-. Here's where my interest in DS9 starts to wane for space war and politics. I had Babylon 5. Oh, sorry, I went too fast, Michael. For space war and politics, I had Babylon 5. Didn't need a second helping here.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and the shows were on around the same time. I could understand how it was.
Michael
Now it's a little
Beacon's
bit different.
comments are always so good.
Fabio 100 says, C+. I am also not a Jake episodes fan, but this episode had one of the best new aliens introductions at the time. They looked cool way back then. Thank you, Fabio. Agree. I hear you. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers, says, Clobby, I give it a C and agree with all you said about the episode. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you,
Thank you, Dee.
Neurotidax the Bear says, B+. I like the Jimadar species, and I guess I found it all entertaining enough. Also, I always like Nog and Jake. They remind me of myself and my stupid teenage friends back in the day. I hear you. Fair enough.
Cute. Very cute.
The wonderful Katie Dax says, rating B. Sweet moments with Jake and Nog, which who catapulted their friendship. Some levity of the series. The reveal of the treacherous Vorta at the end was good drama, but lacked in the next episode. Katie Dax continues. I think that this episode showed that Sisko was meant to be a great captain, but still needed more experience dealing with an enemy as bad as the Dominion, the underlying villain of the show. Thank you, Katie. Appreciate you so much. Alaric Harrison says, B. Was a decent introductory world-building episode with the founders, Jimadar and Vorta, as a new challenge for the Federation. At this point, the founders are only mentioned, though. We still don't know anything about them. But, and the great Chris Perzia says, C-. Considering what this episode is meant to set up, the only intimidating feature about the Jimadar was their Dominion technology and not themselves. Something that is rectified next season.
That's an extremely good point, because it's like they overwhelm the Federation through tech in this episode, and later on it becomes Klingon ability and in this hand-to-hand combat and savagery and of course almost like a queen bee with drones, just sending out these endless drones able to and in that way it's a lot like the Borg. So yeah, it becomes physical later, not just about tech. So excellent point, Chris Persia. Mwah.
Absolutely, isness. So if you would like to read our great friend Enigmatic,
would you mind doing it? I'm a little bit tired tonight. It's Thanksgiving weekend here, and I power slammed a cherry Coke, and I can't really talk. I'm a bit of a nincompoop tonight. I'm sorry.
Doing fine, but I would still be happy to do it if you want.
Thank you, sir.
So Enigmatic Drop Bear, hope you're not too disappointed with me reading yours. I will do my best. B- from Enigmatic Drop Bear says, thematically similar to TNG's Q Who. This time, instead of Q, it's the wormhole and perhaps the prophets that remind the Federation that the universe is both wondrous yet dangerous. As an allegory, it presents the perils of hubris, particularly the apathy it can generate. Starfleet seemed to assume uncharted regions of space were free to explore and colonize, even though earlier episodes laid clues to the Dominion's apparent hegemony. Hegemony. I've never been able to say that word right. It's sort of like every other word I can't say either. Hegemony in the Gamma Quadrant. Sorry.
Just so you know, everyone in English is saying it wrong anyways. It's actually a Greek word, so it's okay, and don't worry about it. I love you.
I just don't want to hate to let ED down there.
Okay.
Given the warnings, it does seem strange that Sisko would take a family trip to the Gamma Quad. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's a very good point there as well, ED. Stranger still was establishing the colony in the Gamma Quadrant and calling it New Bajor. That is another type of thing. The name itself even harks to imperialist policy. Yeah, that's another fine point. Thank you, ED. And also, ED says, continues. These clues were hammered home when the Jem'Hadar revealed New Bajor's colonists fought bravely for spiritualists. They fought bravely for spiritualists. Then the awesome demonstration of their military technology and prowess.
Yeah.
Setting aside the clashing of powers, the clashing of powers themes, Quark's little speech and hypocritical actions were an interesting essay in moral relativism. Indeed, sir. He takes the normative view of and lectures Cisco accordingly, then promptly reverse engineers Eris's color, intending to turn a profit by distributing a device of oppression. Quite provocative.
That's actually true. That's a very good point. Sir. But that's an extremely, extremely good point, and I just absolutely love you. Thank you so much, Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Well done, Enigmatic Drop Bear. Well, as always, brilliant, sir. We don't have any other reviews?
Nope, that's it, boss.
Oh, okay.
Now it's time for the good, the bad, the ugly.
Wait, we'll do that in a second. We do have Mark D didn't write a review, but he did. No, here's his review right here. He put it on video. Here's his video.
No.
That's Mark D's review. Oh, there it is.
No.
I thought that was you're supposed to be a review right there, dude. Mark D with the C there, chief engineer says, B-. Good introduction to the Jem'Hadar. Although the Jake Nog scenes can sometimes be grating, Trek is showing how species can get along despite traditional prejudices. Something Cisco is forced to confront. Not looking forward to serving on a Galaxy-class ship, they blow. I'm not looking. They blow up easier than Pintos. Wow. Episode loses a grade because there were no marshmallow dispensers. That's a good point.
Mark.
Oh my, Mark. Well, if there are no more reviews.
Yeah, Mark. Lurseth, I heard about her dying, and I thought she was really funny.
Who?
That Judy Tenuta lady.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
she was like the female version of Weird Al Yankovic. Only
she used to be with him, friends with him. Or something.
Yeah, only she was like considerably dirtier. Like she had a filthy mind. She was wonderful. She cracked me up. I felt so bad, and And I believe in the newspaper they said that she died from ovarian cancer. My. It's very important that women make sure that they go to their cancer screening. Please go and book your pelvic exam. Have your pelvic exam and get it done. And Mark, it's a very sad thing. And
she was really married to both Claude Perishable. Your Minimus is here.
Minimus.
Well, I guess we're ready for the season wrap-up finale. Mark D, you have your link, sir, if you are so inclined to join us with your spreadsheets. I know you must have some.
Yeah, he's got a spreadsheet for sure.
And we'll wait till he gets here to start it out. Because if he's coming, I mean, maybe he's not. He didn't want to talk to us.
Yeah, are you coming?
I don't know.
Hungry Boy. She was hilarious, wasn't she? And at the time, like women weren't like openly doing sort of dirty or sexually explicit type of humor, and she always did it in a way it was just so provocative and subtle sometimes, and then other times she would like try and make people feel uncomfortable with it, and because she was just so cute and sassy, it really worked for her. Like I thought she had good comedic chemistry. I thought she was wonderful, and I'm sad that she died that way. That's horrible.
Yeah. By the way, everyone, we'll show this later again, but these are next week's episodes as we start season 3. But we'll show that again later. So as soon as Mark gets here, folks, we will start. We're going to do a season wrap up. But I'll tell you what, while we're waiting on him, let me check the poll that I started. Again, we're going to still get you all to comment on the season. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see how we're doing. I started a poll before the show. I don't know if you're familiar, if you saw that, Raquel.
No, I didn't. What's the poll, boss?
Let me refresh here, and you watch for Mark because my eyes are up.
Okay, boss. I got you covered. If he walks in the room, I'll let him in immediately.
Yeah, I think he can get it anyway, but now he has superpowers now. Okay. All right. The poll is, the question was, how do you rate DS9 Season 2? First choice, A minus to plus range, B minus to plus range, C minus to plus range, or D minus to plus range. And right now, in first place at 64% is B minus to plus range. A is in second place at 21%, and C is in third place at 15%, and there are no D's. So that's where we're looking at that so far. So interesting indeed. Interesting indeed. We will get started. I think Mark will be here when he can get here. He said he was coming.
Please, BC, please wait. Because remember, after we give ours, then we want to feature yours. We want to discuss yours. We want to have, that interaction. Clubby and I love that sort of thing. And, we're basically like among the first people to do that sort of thing on YouTube.
Before that.
So we like that. So yes, please refrain from commenting. Please wait. We're just waiting for Mark. Mark, will you hurry up?
We're going to do best and worst first anyway. So.
Yeah. We got to do best and worst first. Messenger keeps crashing.
Oh, want to send it to Twitter? I'll send it to the clubhouse, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you the link to the clubhouse.
Chris, the story of my life. Poor Chris is like, yeah, well, during the 80s and some of the 90s, I was in university. Yeah, it's... I know they always ask me if I see stuff, Chris, and I'm like, you guys realize like I was in post-secondary from like 1991 to like 2014 or something. I don't think people get it, but that's why I love you, Chris. You get it.
Indeedishness. So there you go. He's got that. He'll be here in a second. Well, I should have. There we go. Can you add yourself, or do you have that ability anymore?
I got him.
No, I was going to see. I wanted to find. I'll do it then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm in. Hello. Yep.
Hi.
Okay.
I got rid of that cookie. So
yep. I would like you to know that you are assigned to detention 2 times this week for tardy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, hang on 1 second. You guys take the comm while you take a pill. I need.
Okay, go ahead, boss.
Go ahead. I'll be right back.
Well, my son came back from college, so Grandma and the family went out for pizza dinner. And I got anchovies and mushrooms and onions. But someone decided to get salad on their pizza. So I'm sure that's not a Clobbering Times pizza. Not supposed to put a whole salad on a pizza, right? So I should have set up a poll on Twitter. I put it out, say, what do people think of it? I know is it better than pineapple? I'll have to do a poll on my channel. Is it better than pineapple or worse?
It's better than your stupid clam pizza.
Whole salad on pizza, yeah. But this place is famous for. Well, this is we're waiting for Mike to get back, but it was they have hot oil on pizza, so it's like a really thin crust pizza with hot oil. It's like it started as bar food basically in a place.
So you mean basically buttered bread? That's what you're saying right now?
Yeah, when you're really drunk and hot oil and pepper, hot pepperoni. But then they branched out.
Well, when you're really drunk.
When you're really drunk, yep. But
it became really popular, this is a family show with family advertising. YouTube pitches us, with a very general audience. So I would just like to say, please drink responsibly.
Yes, and eat lots of pizza.
Yeah.
Healthy pizza.
Healthy pizza. Yeah.
Yep.
And today I was looking through some of the side dishes that Americans eat at Thanksgiving because everyone at the clubhouse was so shocked that it was Thanksgiving this weekend in Canada. So I was looking at some of your side dishes. And can I just say that American Thanksgiving side dishes are absolutely revolting. how do you guys eat that corn pudding thing? And the canned green beans baked in canned mushroom soup, and the mashed potatoes that are seasoned like pie, and then they're baked with marshmallows on them.
Oh, I don't
and
like the marshmallows on my
the
potatoes
oyster
either.
dressing.
Well, that's good. That tastes really good. That's good stuff. Yeah.
No, it's not good stuff. It all looks like mucus. It's like you have a turkey.
No, you don't even. It's more like a flavor thing. You don't see it, but yeah, I never liked the marshmallows on the sweet potatoes. I don't know what other people think of that, but that never. It was just too sweet. But I hate anything green. You know, the green beans but my favorite are mashed potatoes. Simple mashed potatoes. Sweet potatoes are good, and my favorite thing to make is butternut squash with a little brown sugar and butter, and you mash it up like mashed potatoes. Oh, that's a good one.
Yikes!
Look,
gooder.
I love you all, and I have never ever been shy about saying how much I love my American friends. I think American culture is beautiful. Their film, their TV, their attitudes, their big hearts, and they're so generous and they're beautiful people. But some of their food is disgusting. Chris Persia, you should see this oyster dressing. It's gray. It's gray. It's gray, and it's like liquidy kind of. It looks sort of like oatmeal.
I love dressing, but yeah, I don't want no. Yeah, no.
It's so disgusting.
Well, I know, Mike. You would not eat salad on pizza. I'm sure.
I like salad, but on pizza,
not on pizza.
The two are not compatible.
Yeah.
But speaking of Star Trek and discussing, we're going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maybe we should start with the bad.
Sure.
For this season.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's get the bad out of the way.
Okay.
You could write look.
There's a lot of bad.
Since there's so many, only so much that we, you could put into the chat and stuff. What we'll do is we'll just do 3. Why don't you go with 3 good and 3 bad, or you want to go with 4? What do you think? 4?
I think you need 4 bad for this season.
I could do 10 bad, but I mean,
yeah.
Since I can only really think about 4 good, the 3 good, minimum of 3. But if you want to do as much as 5, you can. We're going to start with the bad. How about that? If you got 5, go with 5. If you only want to do 3 on both categories, minimum of 3, maximum of 5, and we will ask everyone this after we do ours. Of course, ladies always first. So, number 1, what are your bottom 3 episodes from season 2 of Deep Space Nine?
Okay, well, let's just talk about the fact that I have I don't even know. How many did I say? Is it like 7 or 8 Ds? If you can hear me shifting paper, it's because I'm actually looking back through all of my notes and trying to count the Ds. Wow, lots of Ds. Let's start with the bottom 3, and I have them tabbed under the green tab so that you can hear why I chose them. Okay, my bottom 3 are in no particular order because they all equally suck with some suck. Is Paradise, Playing God, and Crossover.
New man Dropper has to leave, by the way.
Oh, honey.
Take care.
See you, sweetheart. I'll see you next week.
Good to see. Thank you for being here, ED. We appreciate you.
Bye, honey. We love you.
Okay, so go ahead now. Start back on.
Minimus, I love you so much. I cannot wait to get down to Louisiana and hang out with you. You are ridiculous, and I adore you. Okay, anyways. First, Paradise is season 2, episode 15. This is just absolute crap.
Garbage.
This is the episode where they have the Luddites on the planet, and then the lady just tortures them and does horrible things. She puts them in bake boxes, denies them modern medicine, denies them personal privacy. They don't even have a door to their bathroom or to where they live and stuff. And
they're all for it too. They love it.
Yeah, and they absolutely love it. And there's a speech at the end about loving it, and it's just absolutely insane. Objectively, one of the worst episodes ever created in the history of Star Trek. The next one is Playing God. Season 2, episode 17. This is the Jadzia episode. The Vol episode, and yes, we have Cisco should have contacted Starfleet, our universe versus another universe, wiping out all life. They take it back through the Gamma Quadrant. Oh yes, this is the proto universe that they can just move around whenever they want. They put the proto universe through the transporter. They put it on a runabout. They take it from one side of they take it through a wormhole. It's just pure insanity. There's just so much dumb, so much poo. And then crossover, season 2, episode 23. And this is, of course, supposed to be Mirror Mirror. It's just Julian Bashir is annoying. Avery Brooks's acting is awful. Kira is in love with herself, like the actual physical presence of herself from another universe, in an obvious and overtly sexual way. It makes everyone feel uncomfortable. It's bizarre. It's not hot. It's just really weird. And so another thing is
Michael Beacon's leaving too, by the way.
Oh, good night, Beacons.
Good night, Beacons.
Good night, Beacons.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
That the wormhole aliens allowed them to go to an alternate universe, or the wormhole aliens sent them there purposefully, but they didn't engage the wormhole aliens. But how they arrived at the other universe, this mirror universe, was through the wormhole. And apparently they've fixed it so that they cannot ever go back to that universe through the transporter. And this is just insane on so many levels. The stupid here is so strong. There's so much dumb. I can't even begin to explain it. So those are my 3 Fs, and I have like 8 Ds on top of it. So I will not bore you further. Those are my bottom 3. Again, Paradise, Playing God, and Crossover.
Okay. Mark.
All right. I got 3. Yeah,
batters?
I'm gonna see. 3 batters. Well, I got to invasive procedures. I thought was really bad. That was the plasma store one where they have to evacuate, and the Trill, who wants to take over Dax's body. And
You didn't like that one?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I just didn't like the acting in that one. I mean, I agree with what Raquel was saying. So I'm looking for another, because this season was pretty bad. So that one just didn't do it for me. Just something about it I didn't like, and just there were a couple of interesting things in the episode in terms of showing what Trills would do, but just didn't really like that one. The other one I really didn't like was Rivals. That was when that the other Quark opens it up the other bar. I just thought it was a silly. I just thought it was a silly one. Martis Mazar. A lot of this season is too not enough sci-fi, too political, not in terms of politics, but just the machinations of politics between the Cardassians and the Bajorans and the Federation. And I'd like to see more exploring. And I think it was a step back. We'll get into that, but I think it was a step backwards from season 1 in some ways. And although you've grown to really like a lot of the characters and the actors and the performances, just some of these episodes, like what we didn't get a move along, move along home, or type episode, but just really not enough hard sci-fi, more relationships. And crossover, of course, is another one that we all agree is another Claboni, another stinker. So I'm totaling up my scores for this season, and there's not a lot to like, but the ratings, we'll talk about that. They were getting about 9 million people a week average watching the show, which a show would kill for those ratings these days. So the show was relatively successful, I think, but these episodes, I think they went too much with the relationships and the politics, and not enough with the science fiction and exploring the wormhole. But then we're getting that at the end of the season with the Dominion. So those are my three stinkers.
And I agree with them. Those are good choices. I totally agree with your rationale on those, and I echo and amplify your statement. There's way too much repetition going on here. You know, everyone they always have to have rebels. There's always a rebel faction or some secret intelligence agency, and they keep setting up these societies and these characters, and they all seem to be the same. The Cardassians are barely different than the Jemadar, and the Jemadar are barely different than the Borg, and the Jemadar are barely different than the Klingons. And so, and each one of them has, like, you know, the secret society, the Obsidian Order, the Section 31, you know, it just goes on and on and on. And it's not enjoyable. So I totally agree with you, Mark. Good choices.
Thank you. What's the captain got?
Well, the one I hated, probably one of the most hated episodes of all Trek for me, is Crossover.
Yeah.
Crossover. Yeah.
I'm very protective of Mira Mira.
Yes.
I really think they never should have touched it. And this episode, I think if it didn't include the bit about blaming Kirk and Spock, especially Spock, for the ruination of all of everything, probably just would thought it was stupid. You know, whatever. Yeah. But that really just makes me sick and angry. Angry. And this is a piece of garbage. It's bad anyway, but that adds insult to a lot of injury. All the things you said, Raquel, about how stupid it was that they got there. It wasn't, I mean, there was no real good explanation for it. The transporter accidents because of an ion storm is way better than just some kind of screw up going through the wormhole. It's really idiotic. Everything about this episode is stupid and slimy. It was interesting seeing the evil of the Mirror universe in Mirror Mirror. And this is just, it's just seedy. It's classless. It's crass. I just hate everything about it. I hate. Then there's Paradise, as you mentioned. This is another piece of absolute dog garbage crap.
Oh, it's so bad.
With this horrible woman. But to me, she's not the worst thing about it. In fact, the actress is fine. She's a shitty character, but I could buy into one character being nuts like her. My biggest problem with the episode is not just her. The whole premise is bad anyway, but buying into the fact that all these idiots are just these are supposed to be 24th century enlightened Federation citizens, and some even Starfleet people putting up with this and letting themselves turn into cultists. The whole point of Gene Roddenberry was to say that in his 23rd century and in his 24th century, there's certain things. People aren't perfect, certainly. He never said that.
No.
But there are certain things that, you know, humankind would have evolved beyond. Mm-hmm. And things like this, again, not evil. There would still be bad people, but it would be smaller. Remember in the original series when they talked about this very little crime, mm-hmm. or very few prisons. They were all, and they knew how to treat people who were mentally ill and things like that. This just acts like it's, again, the problem is this is a story that fits in a 20th century setting, not in the 24th century Gene Roddenberry 24th century setting.
Mm-hmm. And
antithetical.
And those are Starfleet officers. Those people should have been taken to prison for all of the people who were murdered.
Yes, the conclusion's horrible.
Yeah, the conclusion is, it's like, those are Starfleet officers. All of them voted together collectively to kill people. They killed people together. They tortured people to death, and they're all responsible for it. And obviously, too, why would they just walk away from that situation? Why weren't there psychologists and social workers immediately take the children into custody? It's just, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous, and there's absolutely no way that Kirk would have walked away from that situation.
Total
that
garbage.
Gene Roddenberry would have approved of it. This is crap.
Total disgusting trash.
Some things
Killy Chow, roll tide. Oh, Mr. Tickle Trunk's here too.
Hey, Tickle Trunk.
Oh, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, catching the replay, you guys are crushing it. Thank you so much.
Oh, honey, love you very much. And sweetheart, happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Oh, he's up there and up there with you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he's Canadian.
Well,
Mr. Tickle Trunk is named after a Canadian TV show, isn't it?
He sure is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that. It's great to see you, my friend. Thank you.
I didn't know that till they
And
explained
happy
that.
Thanksgiving
but,
to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah.
So you were saying about Paradise before I went to my last.
Well,
one?
there were some things I liked about the episode, though. I think the episode, the ending was sloppily handled, but I think I liked the portrayal of how people could be taken in by a charismatic leader. Almost, they were trying to, I think, go for a Khan type leader or someone who could be brainwashed. And there were colonists headed to another planet, and you'd think they'd have all the Federation ideals, but I could see where they're showing where people have weaknesses, and it was terrifying performances in some of the episodes.
I don't think this many of them though.
But that can be obviously debated. But I think the end was when it really fell short in terms of they just took the leader up, and I think and the kids or a couple of people.
No, the son who did most of the death by bow and arrow.
Yeah, good night, Katie.
Love you, Katie, sweetheart.
Take care, Katie.
Thank you for being here, and we love you too, baby.
I don't know if I forgot to say Keely Chow. Roll Tide. Hey there.
You said it. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah, but I think that was where the episode, in my mind, that's where the episode really slipped up to that point. I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but I like, that exposition of how humanity, like a Lord of the Flies type scenario, even though we don't want to think that ever could happen in the Federation, where maybe it could happen in a worst case scenario.
It's regressive.
It's regressive, yeah. But then what you want to do is, as you guys said, is show how that would be rectified, and then the people get their punishment. There were people left unpunished in that episode, and it needed another 5 minutes of follow up, I think, to fix it. But I agree with your concerns. But I like that performance by the lead actress there. I thought, I'm forgetting her name, but as a character, but I thought that was good. Yep.
Good evening,
Snail Messiah. Hey,
and thank you so much, Dee Dee.
Yeah, she was good, but
I hear you. I hear what you guys are saying, but there were some things I
because the bottom line is that this is supposed to be the world against Gene Roddenberry. That's what the Gene Roddenberry.
Chris is running too now, by the way.
Oh, you're leaving?
Chris.
Good night, Chris.
Sorry, I'm going to have to bow out early. Need to restock my veggies while there's something left at the supermarket. Have a great weekend and an even better Thanksgiving Monday to all the Canadians. Chris Persia, I love you, sweetheart. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your dad.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yeah, please tell your dad a happy Thanksgiving for us. I'm sending you a hug and a smooch for your cheek. Millions of smooches for your cheek. Love you very much, honey.
Good night, buddy.
Don't eat any oyster dressing.
He won't. Trust me, he won't.
Have a good night, Vindicator. So my number 3 is, let's move along here.
Yep.
We're done with that garbage. I've been giving that episode far more than it deserves.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm being nice.
Oh, Sanctuary. Jesus Christ. I hate this episode.
Terrible.
Absolutely. This episode is a pile of goat vomit.
It's so bad.
Dog manure. The whole we raked it over the coals when we first saw it. It's got all this immigrant analogy and stuff. The way that they treat the Bajorans for not wanting to bring all those people onto their planet when they could have easily gone to this other planet. It's just I'm not going to go there. We just spent too much time on the bad stuff, but this is a piece of trash.
It is. I gave it a D-, didn't I? I think I gave it a D-.
I gave it a bunch of Fs.
Or did I give it an F? Did I miss this one as an F?
You had some Fs in some of these, didn't you?
Oh, yes. All 3 of those ones that I just showed you now were Fs. All of them.
How'd you rate the first 3 episodes of that 3-parter? Did you give those like C's or what? I'm trying to remember what you gave.
Okay, you ready? Ready? I'm going to do this fast.
Oh, wait, here. Wait, let me write it down. Hold on. I'm going to write columns. Okay, tell me what you did.
Okay.
In order.
Homecoming is B+. The Circle is C+. The Siege is B-. Inside Procedures is B+. Cardassians B+. Melora is D+. Rules of Acquisition is an A-. Necessary Evil is a B+. Second Sight C+. After that, it's a D, a D-, a B-, a C+.
Wait, B-, B-. I'm slow. C+.
Yeah. Whispers, I gave an A. Paradise, I gave an F. Shadow Play, B+. Then I gave Playing God F. I gave Profit and Loss a C+. I gave Blood Oath an A-. I gave The Maquis a D. I gave the Mikey Part 2 a C minus, and then a B minus, and then Crossover I gave an F, and then the Collaborator I gave a D, and then Tribunal I gave a D, and then Jem'Hadar I gave a D.
Wowzers.
What happened, Snail?
DJ Ronnie.
DJ Ronnie, hello there. Good to see you. Welcome. What happened? Snail Messiah said he put a message on the YouTube thing and YouTube ate it or something. What happened?
That happens sometimes, sweetheart. It's not us. It's just that's the algorithm. That, it vaporizes you, and we don't even get to see it.
Weird. Okay. Well, let's go with our besties. I guess he's
okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, number one. Yep. Start out with, again, do 3 to 5. If you want to do 5, you're welcome. You can just do 3 if you want to.
Okay. My top 3 are, and I'll just give the grade so you know what order they go in. Rules of Acquisition, Season 2, Episode 7, Prod Code 427. I love this comedy episode. It's nearly perfect. It's executed nearly perfectly. It's well written. It has excellent dialogue. It's a wonderful idea filled with endearing characters. It is sweet. It is sincere. I also loved the inner workings and the entire aesthetic of Zeki's ship. Just outstanding science fiction. That's the kind of practical prop work and that sort of practical effects that I love. I absolutely love the line, these flaked blood fleas are succulent, when the Grand Negus says it, and I make Clobby always speak for the Grand Negus. So, Clobby, would you please say these flaked blood fleas are succulent?
What? These flaked blood fleas are most succulent.
Right?
Inconceivable, Quack. Sorry.
Yeah, no, please don't stop. I love it. The gross kiss is just hysterical. This reminds me of a piece of the action when we're looking at, the development of Star Trek, and I think it's really great. This is not science fiction, but I think this is the kind of puzzle that fits in the larger picture of Star Trek. So I think it's just absolutely wonderful. Talk about learning about a new species and just having a great time with it. Rules of Acquisition is an A minus. It's just terrific episode. The next one that I gave a pure A, I believe that's the highest mark of the entire season. Let me check. Yeah. A pure A, is Whispers, Season 2, Episode 14, Prod 434. It has Susan Nimoy in it, which is Leonard Nimoy's wife, who he married in 1989. Make sure that I get the right Nimoy. It's Susan Nimoy. This is a mystery episode that 100% turns into the invasion of the body snatchers. But what's really cool is that it's told from the pod person's perspective. So for me, this is pure science fiction. Probably the only pure science fiction in the whole season. I absolutely love this. This is exactly what I want from Star Trek, and I can imagine my holy trinity in this episode. So Whispers, a pure A, really, really great. The next one I gave an A minus is Blood Oath, Season 2, Episode 19, Prod Code 439. And these are my notes. John Colicos, Core, is from Errand of Mercy, obviously TOS Season 1, Episode 26. Then we have William Campbell, who played Koloff in The Trouble with Tribbles, and Trelane in The Squire of Gothos. And then we have Michael Ansara, Kang, from Day of the Dove. So we have 3 titans returning to us. And then I wrote in my notes, some people say this is a disappointing display of continuity error. These people are nincompoops. Colicos, who was supposed to become a show regular but couldn't for many reasons, and Roddenberry both wanted Klingons to be far more alien, but there was no budget. It was John's idea to put makeup on because creating physical difference would help the viewer who was watching on a black and white television in 1966 to visualize that the difference, try to imagine what an alien would look like, but they just didn't have the money. And I also don't buy this argument because it's poor rhetoric. Because if you see a continuity error and the repetition of those characters, then you also have to complain about Billy Campbell playing Trelane. And that would be dumb, because that's a slippery slope that you would quickly fall off and die from, because there are many reoccurring actors in Star Trek. The alien appearances enhance science fiction. This is a dumb argument. Okay, enough, Raquel. And then my final three things I said, this is a fun action adventure science fiction. Before the internet, I thought the albino was John Malkovich. This is before the internet. It's nice to see John, William, and Michael again. And this gives me the warm fuzzies. Once again, this is visiting those alien creatures and doing it in a way that I think Gene Roddenberry would have liked. We get fun action adventure, we get science fiction, and we get to fulfill John Colicos's dream and Gene Roddenberry's dream of getting these three men to look more Klingon. And we finally got the budget to create those images for people for their imaginations to go wild in thinking about us meeting aliens. And so those are my top three, fellas.
All righty. Excellent. Mark C with a D.
All righty. So I would go with, I agree with those. I got some overlap. I'll try to pick a couple of different.
Now, you don't have to do that. Pick the ones
no,
you want.
yeah, okay, yeah. So I like Whispers with O'Brien. That's the one where he turns out to be a clone, but I just love the twist in the end. Of course, engineers got to be partial to O'Brien, and I thought the brilliant thing in that episode was when the O'Brien clone dies, he's asking about Keiko. So it was just O'Brien's nature. Hey, I know, don't cue the Keiko jokes, but it really shows how we make fun of her, but fun of the way the character is written to be annoying. But there is a true love, to Blave there. Raquel doesn't get that reference yet, but I thought that shows his nature coming through, which is interesting too, because I guess his memory patterns were also. It's not just a clone; he was actually a replicant. So,
replicant.
Yeah, so it shows how he was truly in love with her. So I thought that was a nice twist in the end. Of course, Blood Oath is a classic. Yeah, some people are disappointed in it. You could say that. I guess we could talk about Enterprise, how maybe that contradicts some things that they came up with in Enterprise, but you could also argue that was that different. That was that species of Klingon. We don't want to have spoilers, I guess.
Don't do spoilers, or
spoilers,
enigmatic drop bear. Well, he'll have to plug his ears.
He's not here right now. He had to leave, but
I'm just saying, that could potentially contradict something, but you can also work it into canon. But yeah, that was great to see those three classic TOS actors back, and they gave good performances. The only thing I didn't like was some of them didn't make it through the episode, but it really showed. Star Trek really does a great job with the Klingons, the Next Generation, and DS9 for the most part. That was some of the best parts of TNG. I thought were Worf and the Klingon culture, and how that was explored and expanded upon. They weren't just a two-dimensional race, and they never were in TOS either. But it just expanding on that idea, I thought was really well done. And Shadowplay, because I liked Odo and Dax working together, trying to figure out why the residents of that village were disappearing. So I thought that was an interesting.
What number was Shadowplay?
Number 16 in the season.
Yeah, number 16. I gave that one a B+.
B+, yep. So I gave that an A-. So yeah, it was.
We were very close on that.
Close on that one, yeah. So Odo's character is just well done, and maybe I'm biased because the actor is Swiss, but he's interesting. Just an interesting character, and he doesn't, he's not human, obviously, and he's trying to search for his humanity, and yet. And he's trying to fit in, but then you forget that too after you watch him for a while. Although with the makeup and that was just an interesting take, an interesting detective story, I thought. So that would be my top three, and of course I was I think that's the same. What was your episode? Rules Acquisition. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that
Shadow
was
Play was good, but I think it was made a little bit weak by the fact that they didn't take the Omicron tech with them, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't like that. And I think the reason why you and I have a difference there and why it didn't score into the A's for me on that was I also didn't like all of the stupid stuff with Kira and the priest and the necking and like and when they're necking with closed mouths and it's like super dramatic and they're like super acting super passionate, but you can clearly see that both of their mouths are like
passionate,
are like sealed shut. It's just like, why am I watching Kira neck with the priest?
Well, I usually fast forward through the kissing on Star Trek anyway. So
but I agree with you, sweetheart. I actually put in my notes.
Kissing again.
I actually put in my notes, Mark. This is a very TOS episode. This is some nice science fiction.
Yeah.
And Odo is a kind man. His speech about the holograms reminded me of storybook characters, like how they're real when you're in the environment. I thought that was really incredible. I actually thought that was a profoundly intelligent thing to say. I loved that dialogue.
Yeah.
But no more kissing with your mouth closed. Don't stop necking with priests in front of me with your mouth closed. Ew.
And of course, that episode presages the Doctor in some ways too.
While we're finishing up their best episodes, everyone start putting your 3 of your worst in there, and we'll read them off.
Yes, do your worst,
and then when we get to it, we'll get you to do your best ones after that.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry to hear about that, Snail Messiah.
What's going on with Snail Messiah? What's wrong with my friend?
Bad teeth.
Tooth infected. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had that appointment at the university.
God. Oh my God. Oh,
I'm so sorry, my friend. Your friends here. We wish we could help you, but
they couldn't numb
we're
it.
here for you.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Do they have Oragel in your country? Try and get some Oragel. I'm not a physician, but you're allowed to use Oragel here in Canada. You can get it at the drugstore.
I've had toothaches when Oragel didn't do me any good, but
but it's supposed to freeze your face.
I guess it was so infected. They said they couldn't use anesthetic. Ooh, I'm sorry about that.
Yes, Pleasant. Yeah. Put your 3 worst, and we'll get to those in a minute.
Yeah, put your 3 stinkeroonies while we finish up doing the best.
And then, if you want, in a separate post, you can put your 3 best, and then we'll get all of them.
But
that must have been a bad episode tonight.
Everyone did their worst
for Snail Messiah. With
if they could fit 3 worst and 3 best in the same post, fine.
Oh yes, that would be delicious.
Yeah, if you could fit them. But yeah. Anyway, okay. So my 3 worst, or did you get yours done? You both done with yours?
Well, I was just gonna say, unfortunately, Tribunal had a teeth pulling tonight. Sorry, Snail Messiah.
Oh man, don't tell him that. What do you have to mention that for? Jesus Christ, dude.
That's so true, Mark. I love you. That's so true.
I feel bad now thinking about that. Oh God,
you had to mention it. Damn it.
Well, sorry.
Funny. It's funny, and I think it's wonderful. And you made him laugh. Look at him. He's busted up.
All right. See, I made him feel better.
My best. I got to be honest with you. I can really only. I thought I was going to be just doing 2 best ones, so I was having to stretch for my 3rd one. But the ones I feel a lot strongly about, of course, are Blood Oath. Again, I love it just for pure nostalgia reasons. It's a lot of fun seeing these men come back and play these Klingon characters. It's just a typical, just kind of it's pure nostalgia, folks. Pure nostalgia for me. I can't give you much more than that. Whispers was one of the few really top-notch, clever episodes of the season, I thought, which are excellent. I think this is an excellent, just really well-written, well-acted episode. Colomini, of course, really shines in this one. And after that, I can't tell you. I mean, I kept looking at the episode list again, trying to jog my memory a bit to come up with something that was like an episode I was. By the way, if you could star those, number 1, if you're seeing any.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll get to them in a second. But so I'm not really. If you see any, it don't matter. I'm not really super thrilled about a lot of them. So after that one, I guess I just went with Shadow Play because I actually do love that we got a science fiction type story. I totally agree that the Kira Bareil crap's bleh. But I think it's superseded by the really excellent science fiction story, and having Odo and Dax do an episode together like that. And so, I really enjoyed that. So those are the three for me. It's pretty simple because I don't have any. I don't really have a lot that I was just very thrilled about at all.
I got you, boss.
You know.
I agree, honey. It's a
anybody
very
else?
lackluster season. It's not a good season. I can't believe how many D's I have. But when the science fails, and you only have, I would say, only two shining
reviews.
moments of science, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No reviews, just titles. We're not going to be here all night if we do reviews.
Oh my goodness, no, we can't do reviews. Plus, we already have your reviews of those.
Yeah, no more. We're not reviewing, just titles.
Yeah, just titles. But yeah, boss, I like you were saying there. I'd like to finish up with on what you brought up there. I totally agree. Like when the science fails and the character stuff fails and it's just sort of all over the place. It can be very disappointing. And other than Mark reminding me of that beautiful episode, there are really only 2 science fiction episodes in this whole season, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like, how can you be pleased with that? You want Star Trek to shine, right? And you want it to be good. And that's important for us to remind everyone. We want Star Trek to succeed. But it's also important too, to add a little bit of context to this show, is that when Clubby and I started doing this, everyone was all hot and heavy on Star Trek, and they were all hot and heavy on the old fans, saying, "Oh well, how do you guys think that your Star Trek is perfect, and the new Star Trek it sucks?" But the truth of the matter is we were always, and Clubby and I have been saying this from the beginning, we have always been old fans, and we have always been hard on Star Trek. When it sucks, we say so, like Clubby's favorite saying. He likes to call balls and strikes, and that's the way we are here. So we hope that we've added some sincerity and some honesty in the reviewing of it, right? It'd be very easy for us to just get on here and talk about how awesome Star Trek is, but sometimes it's not good. And sometimes it's really incredible. And good evening, Rod Thunderheart. Rod, Alberta, I'm sending my love to you, and I'm sending you the warmest happy Thanksgiving messages. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, Rod, with your brother. Oh, and tell your brother I said hi, and tell your brother I said happy Thanksgiving.
Well, no one else seems to be interested in putting their worst episodes except Pleasant. So we've got Pleasant Valley has his number one baddie is Paradise, worst of the season. Agree with everything said. What a century what century these idiots in? Yeah, gotcha.
Kamloops.
Is he here?
Yeah.
No, that's
Happy 70s.
What's up, dude?
Hi, sweetheart.
Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Number 2 for Pleasant is Sanctuary. I'm with you there. And then he's got Crossover at 3. And Playing God at number 4. All fine, well, not fine episodes, but very understandable picks. Now, no one else has any worse ones, okay? All right, well, fair enough. If nobody else wants to put any worse ones, going once, going twice, boom, you're out. You don't get to put any more.
Maybe everyone agrees with those picks, I guess. That's kind of universal. I'm guessing.
Well, I think a lot of people don't keep the notes, and we have more people.
They don't have to. They can just say what they think.
But they don't have a spreadsheet like me.
Well, no, I think it's that the people who we attract are people who are very sincere in their conversations here. And this is a very specific, tight-knit, very sincere group. And I just think a lot of people don't have the time to write down their episodes and to write them all out. And so I think they're hesitant to throw something out there because it wouldn't reflect what they really feel and what they really think. And I actually really respect that.
I don't know if that's it at all. Maybe they're not listening anymore.
Rob Altus.
Rob Altus. Hey there.
Hey, Rob.
What's up,
well, I do have my spreadsheet if you want to show that.
We're ready for now. We have our final list of the evening. We have number 2, number 3, whatever you want to call him, number 15, whatever he is. Mark D with a C.
Mark, what's really funny is once you show that spreadsheet, I think some people will actually come forward because it will jog their memory of the episodes they liked. It will remind them of what the title is and all that jazz. We might actually get some traction once you
Too late
show
now.
them.
Too late to do bad episodes now. That ship has sailed.
It's true, but maybe we'll get the good ones.
Here we go with Mr. Spreadsheet, everybody.
Spreadsheet. I are an engineer. Let's see if I can zoom in. I guess if that's readable. So here is my best to worst. So, and I put Raquel's ratings in too. So they're going down, down, down. So I kind of I gave Paradise a B. That's probably the biggest conflict there. Playing God, B plus. So you're harsher grade, and typically I'm much, kind of sometimes softer.
Last 2 weeks you were pretty mean to some episodes.
Yeah. So I was pretty mean to the last few. So
can I just interrupt to say that speculation, that comment, that commentary is true in real life for us as well.
What?
Nothing. Just that generally Mark is much nicer than I am.
Well, I would say nicer.
I would. I'm just saying it to make you laugh, but you know what I mean. Anyway,
yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, I sometimes I don't want to pick on things, maybe, and like not say what I should say. I guess.
So on your rating system, if I give an F, it's a 0.
0, yeah. F is cool. 0.
Very cool.
No points. No 0. Yeah, you get an F. Do not pass go. Not like those kids that were complaining about organic chemistry that want to be doctors and were flunking, and now they fired the professor because the class was too hard. Yeah, I really want one of those doctors treating me in a few years. But anyway, that's an aside. But
what I really like about this is that your approach to collecting the data would mean that your reviews would actually be more accurate than Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb because it has no base. Yours is more authentic, because for those other rating systems you have to give some type of rating, and
you have to give a 1, right? Yeah,
that's right. So yours is actually more accurate if we were looking at statistical analysis. So bravo to you. I doff my cap to you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, but both of us gave the 2.1. That's barely scraping by with the C, a C rating, and Star Trek should be in an AA minus, and 2.4, yeah, 2.5, that's a C plus. So C to C plus for both of us. Mm-hmm. And Mike, I'm sure your ratings are pretty much in line with these are your A's. I didn't do your whole list, but because I don't know each episode, but yeah, I'm sure your ratings are about I think our reviews are pretty consistent,
I do write them down in my messy book, but I don't really look back. So.
Yeah, I didn't go back and put them in. That's a research project, and this is all a Wikipedia article I copied into a spreadsheet. Just I didn't type all this up and do it all myself, but I organized it in the spreadsheet. But yeah, it's just really disappointing, especially the last.
Nobody's putting their best episodes either. Look. Nobody's putting their best episodes either. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, everyone put their best episodes in. If you got your best,
you want to put your best episodes, folks. If you got 2 or 3 or whatever, please feel free. But you don't have to. No pressure.
Yeah, and if you don't remember the names of the episodes and you just want to say, hey, that one where they did this with Dax or whatever, we don't care about that. We will put that up as well. You don't have to be some sort of expert where you remember the season, the episode number, or even the titles. Yeah, well, there's 735 titles to remember, and many times they overlap or mimic each other. So sometimes people mix them up.
Here's DS9 season 3. There's the link if anyone wants to look at that to jog their memories too.
2, you mean?
The summary of 2. Yeah, whatever.
3.
I wrote 3. That means
but
2.
It
that was just
2 in the URL.
Yeah, that's a code. That's a code between Spock and Kirk. When hours seem like days, okay, we'll go with that one. I'm covering.
We haven't done the season rating yet there, Pleasant.
Yeah.
So Pleasant.
Okay, so this is pretty consistent here with what I put. So what you put and what I put, and I did get in the C range. So it'll be interesting to see what everyone in the chat has to say about their total grade for this season 2.
Pleasant gave The Wire, Shadow Play, Whispers, and Blood Oath. It's a fair cop. And I don't know if let's see. 70s said he'll go shadow play. That is a good one. I haven't. I had it
It
in my
is a
top
good
three.
one.
Yeah. Thank you for playing.
Definitely a decent honorable mention. Right, Cam Lips?
Yeah, that was yeah. You had Kevin Toby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kenneth was it Kenneth Toby or Kevin Toby?
Kenneth. Or
Kenneth
is it
Toby.
Keith? Or is it Keith?
Not Keith for sure. Either Kenneth or Kevin. I always forget get it mixed up.
Oh.
I think it was Kenneth Toby. Yeah, the old science, old yeah.
Oh, and 70
Whispers.
says Whispers is second.
Yep, mine as well. He was in mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I have Whispers in second spot as well.
I didn't know Cam Loops was a DS9 watcher. It's always surprising. It's always full of surprises. That Cam Loops.
You never know.
I love him. Now, whenever he says anything in text, I hear his voice. I hear his cool Scottish accent. I love it.
Hungry boy. I can't say which of my best because we all know how I feel about non-visitor and the cats.
Is that your official rating for this season, Hungry
so
Boy?
Crossover was his favorite episode, probably.
No, I think his favorite episode was Nana Visitor in a cat suit.
That way, just watch the episode with the volume off.
Yeah.
Captions, closed captions off, volume off.
Yes. So he's watched them a couple times, but not lately. Got you.
I haven't watched these since they first came out. I usually just rewatch TOS or just throw a random TOS episode on. But I've never. I had started a DS9 rewatch actually a few years ago, but then when I knew you guys were going to be reviewing it, I'd watched the first season and I said, I'll just wait till hit them in order. But the first season I think is definitely much. I'm trying to remember what my rating was for the first season. Let's see here. Do I have my overall? Well, a B, 3.1, a B.
I didn't give my overall. I didn't write my overall down.
Oh my
gosh, look at how many A's I have in the first season.
Yeah, there's a bunch of A's in the first season. Yep. So much
I went
better
buck with the A's in the first season. 1.
Yeah, you
2,
did.
3. Like it was good. 4.
Just rewatch Babylon 5.
Is that what he said? He did.
Yeah. I love Zathras. It's
6, 7. Holy. And a whole mess of B's. 8, 9. Holy, I have 9 A's for season 1.
So, number 1 that puts you up next. Then, if Mark is done with this, you can still keep that up if you want.
Yeah, just keep it up for people.
What is your rate? What is your overall rating for season 2 of Deep Space Nine, number 1?
Well, I actually didn't run through the grade like I would do for my students and make sure that I get the grade perfectly correct. I didn't, so I didn't aggregate the data for the grade. I just sort of did a guesstimate for it because this is just a podcast and nobody's going to, lose their student funding if I get their grade wrong. So I gave the overall just an impression of it. I gave it a C-.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yep.
Mark?
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I was a little bit. I've got a C plus. Well, solid C there, 2.5 C plus, I guess. But on feeling, as Raquel is saying, like she's at a C. But I'd give it overall. There's your numerical grade there, but I'd give it a C. A C. It's just really too many not enough science fiction.
Right.
We get the Gemma Hadar, and they're kind of the clones of the Borg. Although the makeup is cool, as you guys said, but it turns out to be, Dominion War ends up being much. Spoiler alert! We've mentioned the Dominion War, but that's handled much better down the line. That's not really a spoiler. So there's the series really picks up, I think, steam, and we do love the characters. We love the acting. Brooks is fantastic, but just too many stinkers. And as good as the actors can be, they can't if you're given garbage as an actor, it's it's like a great, fantastic comic book artist can be given a horrible script, and the art can be beautiful to look at and gorgeous, but if the story's a stinker, you're like, oh, that art was great, but that story stunk, so that drags everything down. So I'd give it a C overall, and we did get some good O'Brien stuff, so that was good.
Look at Hungry Boy. Bossman, would you please go to your starred column? We have some interaction.
Zathra says B for boring. Girl, I could count on you. 70 says, I do have an all-time favorite DS9 episode, but I will save it for the season it is in. Yeah, we're a long way from the season with my favorite episode, but The Wire for Wolfie, that would be, I guess, maybe Wolfie's favorite of the season then. Narat says, I like that one too. Kadoki, it's a fair cop, and Hungry Boy says, the Jim Hader. Wow,
Jim Hader. I believe that's how he would have said that.
My rating is pretty much I give it a C minus. It would be lower than that if I didn't like these characters. And at least the characters are fun. You're at an Amanda Bear says B for me as well. It was an okay season. I enjoyed it and kept watching lots of classic DS9 character building and several stellar performances from the actors. That's a fair cup. Thank you so much. Yes, season rating time, Pleasant, if you got one.
We're in the thick of it now, dear.
Smoke them if you got them.
That's right.
Pleasant says C. Again, is that a separator or a minus? So mine is C minus. I don't know if you mean C and it's a separator or C minus. I can never tell.
I think that's a C. I'm guessing because there's a space there. So I'm going to guess a C.
So it says C. When looking at the season, I wish people. Oh man, that's confusing. When looking at the season titles today, realized way too many weak episodes. I hear you there, Pleasant.
Are you saying that
Separator.
That this show
that's a C, yep.
requires
Separator.
a style guide? Because that would be so funny if we required a style guide, because then I could actually teach you all the difference between a compound hyphen and an N dash and an M dash. And I could actually show you how to deploy it.
He explained it though. That's good. I think now I'm seeing enough of those that from now on.
Deploy your dashes.
From now on, if there's a space, I'm just going to go with it that way. C, season 2, B minus for Wolfie. Thank you, Wolfie.
You know what works better, guys? Parentheses work better around the rating.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier for Clobby to see if you do like here we go.
Parenthetical.
There we go. That's a lot easier to separate and see the rating. Yep.
70 says I could only give it a C. As generally, I found it pretty meh. Since hence why I haven't watched these episodes for a long time. Yeah, it's a fair cop. Yes, here you go. That is always a big help.
Yes. And that's actually how it should be handled. But you could also do a period. So if you did a C minus and then you did a period, then you could begin the new sentence with the capital. But this is all style guiding, folks. Style guides. Yep. The talk of nerds. If you all want to go to sleep, I can teach you about style guides.
Yeah. So are we done with the spreadsheeting, or do you need some more spreadsheet time?
I think we're good with the spreadsheet. Yeah, unless
everyone's
enjoyed. No, I'm joking, but everyone's enjoyed the spreadsheet. I hope so. But just the engineering school stuff.
100% do not make fun of you, Zathras. I love you.
Let's see what the best rated episode of the season was for fun. Let's just
for funsies.
For funsies, yeah. So let's sort this sucker up. So let's go data sort range advance, and let's sort by viewers.
Hey, Captain James T. Skywalker's popped in. Hey, buddy. And he gives it a D+.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Captain.
Well, good to see you, Captain. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Skywalker. Yeah, honey, you're within 1% of me because I gave it a C minus. So C minus and D+ are within 1% of one another. So I agree with you, honey.
Yes, sir.
So Homecoming was the best rated episode of the season. The first episode, some of that could be just because the season started. Was there a cliffhanger at the end of season 1? I can't remember.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, there was a cliffhanger. So that's 9.7.
Let me go check.
There was
2, 3, 4. Other in order, basically 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, did that sort? What happened to my sort here?
Remember, they at the end of season 1, they were gonna. Kira was being sent back to Bajor.
Yeah, so that's probably what was accounted for
and,
that.
They'd open up
the
with
ratings,
the season open up with a 2-parter.
Yeah, so that probably that accounts for that. Yeah.
What number is Homecoming?
Is number 1 in the season. Yep, 9.7 million. Okay, here we go. I had messed up my sort before. I apologize. So, Shadow Play was 16th episode was actually 9.5 million. That was a really good episode. Second Sight, that wasn't a good one. 9.4. And Whispers 9.3.
Viewers you're talking about.
Viewers, yeah, I'm just talking about viewers. So
right.
And then the worst rated episode that season was 6.6 million viewers. The Collaborator. So that 6.6.
Good. That sucked.
So they didn't end. Jem'Hadar was 7.7. Tribunal.
I don't think it's pronounced Jem'Hadar. I believe it is pronounced
Jem'Hadar.
Jem'Hadar. Sorry.
So so the season didn't end on a strong note. You can see the ratings are trending down for the most part too. So they did get with the Klingons, TOS Klingons showing up. Let's see.
So what you're saying is that what's happening in this room is what's happening writ large in the fandom as they go through this and watch this in real time in the 90s.
Yeah. So
Hungry Boy's gonna stick, honey. I'm serious. Every time I hear Jem'Hadar, I'm just gonna be like, Jem,
Oder.
Dang. Keely Chow, you're
hang me. Why don't you take a rope and hang me?
Hang me. Yep, I love that. Keely Chow, you barely rolled today, dude. What the hell happened?
Did they win today? When I left, they were only up by 3.
Man, Alabama's so lucky, dude. Jesus, good Lord. Keely, you guys are so lucky. I'm just teasing Keely. I know it's not going to like that. You won. Hey, 24-20.
Oh, right. Was that close? Wow.
Texas A&M gave you some trouble, though. Just saying.
And Texas A&M is 3-2 too. So sorry about the sports ball, but yeah.
All right. So anyway, well, look, I think we've handled another season. Let's show everybody next week, folks. We start with season 3 of DS9, Defiant. Yay!
There we go.
Gonna get the cool Defiant shit. Vocals. How about them apples?
I gotta get my Defiant out of the basement to show.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have the Search Part 1 and 2, the House of Quack, and Equilibrium. So I think we'll be better off in the 3rd season, folks. I think we'll be okay. Starts to pick up a little bit. New ships, says Wolfie. You can't wait for that, I bet you.
Yeah.
Yowzer, huh? Yes, sir. New ships, indeedishness. So,
I'm making homemade sticky toffee tomorrow for my bread pudding.
Wow. Bread pudding. Homemade sticky toffee for the bread pudding. My goodness.
I'm for the dentist. I should mention dentist.
I'm making turkey and ham. I'm also making dressing. And I'm making champ and gravy and pickled beets and roasted carrots and cabbage and bacon fried cabbage.
Our Thanksgiving's a month and a half away. Well, I might be getting me some jambalaya tomorrow at least, but still, nice. I'm glad you're going to be eating nice.
I'm excited. I have to get up very early and I have to cook all day.
We're going to let you get out of here.
I'm very excited about it because the older I get, the more I realize how good of a life we have, even when we think life is tough and it's not going the way that we want it to. We are so privileged in so many ways. and we have so many things that we should appreciate. So I just feel, things are not going exactly the way I want them to go. The vid had a huge impact on my life, on my job and stuff. But I have to say, I'm so grateful. I had such a fun year. And it was great to get out of the house and go and be out again, and it was really good. And I have good friends and good family and a good life. And it's okay that things are tough sometimes. You have to fight back and appreciate the good points. Appreciate the little bit of sunshine you get. And before you go on air, never ever pound a cherry Coke.
I wish I had a cherry Coke right now. I had one yesterday, a big ass one too, like monster.
Well, I was telling Clobby before we got on air that it was a very special cherry Coke. So it wasn't just any cherry Coke.
Expensive one.
It's a super expensive one because it's imported from the UK. So in the UK, they have the original cherry Coke. So the can is pink and it says 79p on it, but it's like $3.50 here in Canada, including tax, to get one. And that's just the little teeny tiny can. But it's the one that's made with carbonated water, natural cherry flavoring or whatever, and caffeine. And so it's so good. And it's sugar. It's not high fructose corn syrup. So I treat myself every once in a while. And when I walk down the British import aisle, they bring them here directly from the UK. And they have to relabel them in French. So they have all these crazy stickers all over them, abiding Canadian law on calories and language laws we have here for French and Canadian. Oh. So, and all the nutritional information, which is our law up here. So it's funny because it's like, it's a can of cherry Coke, but it's like, it has import paper, like sticking all over it. Anyways, I opened that up and I haven't had one, I think, in about a year. And I opened it up and I power slammed it. And it was so glorious. I didn't even want to add ice to it. I just wanted it pure. And wow, that caffeine and sugar hit me hard.
Is there caffeine in cherry Coke?
Yeah, there's caffeine. There's caffeine added to it. Caffeine and sugar, but it's actual sugar.
You sure you didn't have a Red Bull with it too, or no?
No, I didn't have a Red Bull with it. I've never had that stuff before.
Have you ever heard of Jolt Cola?
Jolt, they don't make that
I've heard
anymore.
of it, but I've never.
Yeah. Boy, that
would kill me.
That stuff used to knock your ass off. That stuff is something. Yeah. Jolt Cola, baby. Anyway, well, let's get it moving, folks. We need to get Raquel out of here.
I got a Comic-Con to go to too.
Yeah, these people need to get some sleep. So thank you everyone so much for being here with us tonight. Of course, again, these are your episodes for next week. We'll leave that up there while we do our goodbyes. But I do have one show note. Two, tomorrow night, Sunday Night Geekery, if Mark makes it back in time, he have some so you'll have some pictures from New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Tyrell,
to do a few shorts.
We love you too, honey. We love you very much.
Thank you, Tyrell.
Tyrell just said love you guys.
Thank you, Tyrell. Love you. Good. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, we love you too, honey. Hope you had a good day at work.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for being there. Thanks for always being there. So, for our clobbers and clobberanimos, our members, we have a clobber stream for our members, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, this coming Monday, for the very first time. A big members hangout. You can, if you have a microphone and a headset, you could join me. You can check the community page, or you don't have to. You can just sit there and listen either way if you want. But you're welcome to join me. Come on and hang out with me. And so there'll be, again, 6. We'll go for about an hour or so, something like that. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope you will be there for that.
Collector's issue.
Yes, indeed. And again, remember, next week, these are your episodes. So let us say our goodbyes, and we'll get a move on here, and we'll get out of here, because these two need to get some rest. I don't need any, of course.
I can't miss my train.
Can't miss the train. So, of course,
are you on a midnight train to Georgia?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I got to get, like, everyone's joking, like, oh, you're gonna. I'm notorious for being late or sleeping in for certain things, but like for Comic-Con or Star Trek movies or Marvel movies, I'm always early. So like, you can get up early for Comic-Con. I see. How does that very convenient?
Well, have fun, sweetheart. Have fun. Be safe. Have fun, and I hope you GoPro the whole thing.
You are all my witnesses that I'm trying to get them out of there, and they won't listen.
They keep talking. Yeah.
I'm trying. I mean, I don't have to be anywhere. They're the ones. So,
yeah. All right, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go on mute.
Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth, because Lord, he was here earlier. He probably had to run. Appreciate you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Indeed. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Our wonderful friend Jill could not make it tonight, but we shout her out. We love her. And of course, let's see here. The great Eric K. Chris Persia had to run. Apollome's Minion and the Pupper were here. J-Man.
Happy Thanksgiving, J-Man.
Happy Thanksgiving, J-Man. And Chris Persia, right? He's up there, isn't he?
He is. I already wished him and his dad happy Thanksgiving.
Wendy and Jimmy, Trauma Warriors. Brian Hepburn. We like to shout everyone out whether they're still here or not. Everyone gets a shout out when they show up, and when we leave on Saturday nights. Enigmatic Drop Bear. D Bud Martin, who again made his debut here tonight, folks. His Tuska debut.
Awesome.
D-Bud.
Thank you, D-Bud.
We appreciate all you do, brother. And it's late over there. Well, even though it's a couple hours earlier. Cavicino, Caviman Shea, thank you. J.T. Kirk. Classic Comics. Thank you. The great Hungry for Classic Spookums, not Gory Garbaggio, a.k.a. Hungry Boy, the official artist of Clobberin Times. Appreciate you, buddy. Matt G. Pleasant Valley Picker.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Pleasant Valley Picker. Tyrell, 72. Thank you so much again.
Love you, Tyrell. Bye, honey.
Michael Beacom and Cassandra.
The Beacons.
I think they hit the run, but just in case. Wolfie. Thank you, Wolfie.
Oh, oh, oh.
Fabio 100.
Fabio.
The Comic Relief Crusader. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bush McFadden.
Bush.
Masters Maniac Mexico. M&M's. Phantom Outsider.
Is a man.
Yeah, still is. Raymond Feliciano. Lemon Pie. Zathras. Katie Dax. Love you, Katie.
Night, Katie.
The Nerdporeal Life Form.
Nerdporeal Life Form.
Captain Finity and Beyond.
Hey, Captain Cockney Spock. Thank you for joining us, sweetheart.
Let's hear Mark Lurseth.
Night, Mark.
The Catman. A.K.A. Myers.
Good night, Mr. Myers and Mrs. Myers.
Steve Mitchell, Mighty Steady.
Good night.
Nerat and Axeman the Bear.
You're
out. Wait, is there a Canadian story of Thanksgiving? I don't know, Nerat.
Yes, there is, and it's on my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, you can
it.
see the entire explanation of the difference between the Canadian and American Thanksgiving.
Go for it there. Alora Carlson. Minimus Primeness. Keita Chow. Roll Tide.
My man.
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Happy Thanksgiving, sweetness.
I didn't know Mr. Tickle Trunk was up there. Okay. Snail Messiah. Feel better, my friend.
Yes.
Better, Snail,
I hope less pain, buddy. DJ Ronnie G.
Good night.
The great Rod Thunderheart. Happy Thanksgiving to you, because I know you're up there.
And to your brother, honey. I know sometimes your brother is listening in, so to both of you guys, happy Thanksgiving.
That 70s rock fan Cam Loops.
Happy Thanksgiving, sweetheart. I can hear you in Scottish right now in your heavy Scottish accent, which I love.
Yes. Rob Altus, thank you.
Night, Rob.
And finally, Captain James T. Skywalker.
Skywalker.
And we hope we didn't miss anybody, but thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Mark D with the C, any final words?
No, but thank you for having me on as usual, and
thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Comic-Con tomorrow night, and I put out some YouTube shorts that got a ridiculous number of views too the last few days.
Really?
So check those out. Yeah,
crazy.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Crazy. Yep.
Any final words, number one?
No, I just want to thank the Wrenches for keeping care of this community, for helping us to produce this show. Your help is amazing because you make this community safe so that we can just sit around and have a good time. And I appreciate you doing that. You don't get compensated for that, and you work for these big shows. You guys are big shots on YouTube, and yet you come here and support us and protect us. And I love you guys for that. I love you, Eric, and D. Bud Martin, and Lord
Chris
Thoth,
Persia.
and Chris Persia. Chris
indeed.
Persia is wow. Like I love you guys. Thank you for all you do, and I want to thank everyone for the wonderful conversation this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a great week. And yeah, please follow and support my friend Mark. He's fun and kind and sweet and very interesting. And I just want to thank my captain. Clobby, I love you very much. Thank you for creating this space for the 735ers. I enjoy your company immensely. You are the best. Thank you for having me here. It's an honor and a pleasure each and every week. I love you all, and I'm grateful for all of you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And remember,
Clobberanimo!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
And once again, folks, I've forgotten to read the damn results of the panel. The poll. So the poll was How do you rate DS9 Season 2? At first place, at 63%, was B to the B range. Second place was the A range at 20%. C at third place at 13%, and D with 2% in fourth place. Now we're out of here, folks. Have a fantastic rest of your evening.
I just love clobbering time.
Clobbering, if you perceive Alamarine, you'll come with me.
Never that way.
God damn it, Mark. Jeez.